Welcome to the Geek Cabal podcast, Cabal Whisperings. This is episode 28. And today we have myself, Bobbie.
I'm Owen.
I'm Chad.
And unfortunately, Jim couldn't be with us today. He has got some housing remodeling he is in the middle of. So we will try to carry on diligently without him. So, first we have channel news. We're up to 420 subscribers, so since we filmed the video at 400, we are already a fifth of the way to 500. So, as far as like the difference, one fifth of 100 being 20.
I can math.
Yeah, and I, for any of you who are new to the channel, if you're listening to this, and hopefully you are, because it's in the first few minutes here, would you let me know what brought you aboard as a subscriber? Because I constantly watch videos as far as like how to arrange things on the channel and stuff on the back end. There are a few changes I made, and I'm just curious if they helped at all. Like a big one is apparently I should have been renaming the video titles, like the actual video file, because I guess that's what Google searches by. So that's one of the things in the metadata. And so like it can pull it up if you search for a video, like if your video is titled "How do you do XYZ?"
How to make miniature bleachers for D&D?
Yeah, like that.
Randomly for a project one of us is working on?
Right. Apparently it helps the search if you name the video title that as well. Not the title that people see on YouTube, but the actual file name. So I've been changing all the file names. Obviously the past ones I can't do anything about because they're already loaded. The newer ones I've been doing that. There's just a few other little things like that. I'm just kind of curious if that's why, or if it actually has just been the topics we're talking about. So, just curiosity. Also, be sure to check out our Twitter and Facebook pages. At the moment, they're primarily just to tell you when videos upload, but I have been ever so slowly starting to post memes on the the Twitter, X or whatever the hell you want to call it now. So, funny ones I find and steal from Facebook groups. So, other than that, if you've been watching the channel, you've noticed I've been doing a lot of videos about 90s sci-fi movies. Hope you like those, because I've got a list of about 30 more movies to work through. So that's like probably into sometime next year. But at least 2 of those are going to be back in theaters between now and then. The Matrix is going to be back in theaters for its 20th anniversary in like 2 weeks.
Is that movie actually 20 years old?
Yes. Actually, I think it's the 25th anniversary.
Why are you making me feel old?
Because it's the 25th, because it came out in the 90s. That's why it's on my 90s list. It came out in 1999.
Why are you making me feel old, Bobbie?
Chad, I don't want to hear it. We went to go watch the 35th anniversary of Transformers, the animated movie.
We did.
So, let's see. So that one and The Fifth Element's going to be on in November, I believe. I think it's also an anniversary for it, too. So, now, it's odd, because I actually did see both those in the theaters in their original theatrical runs. So, a lot of movies I go watch like this, I didn't. Like Close Encounters of the Third Kind, I didn't. Obviously, like Enter the Dragon, since it came out before I was born. The G.I. Joe movie, because it never had a theatrical run. Whenever Fathom Events put it on, that was actually the first time it was in theaters. So, because the Transformers movie, the blowback from that.
Oh, yeah.
Even though the G.I. Joe movie was done first.
Once burnt, twice shy.
Yeah. Let's see. Speaking of, Transformers 1 comes out here in a month or 2, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to see it, but it's going to be out.
Neither do I. I might wait for streaming.
Beetlejuice Part 2 is out. I'm iffy on that. I liked the first one. I'm not a huge fan, but I liked it. It's entertaining.
Wait, didn't we go see that in
we did. It was
drive-in?
It was that and The Lost Boys.
Yeah.
During the COVID times when no one was releasing new movies. So we went to go watch that one night, then we went to go watch Smokey and the Bandit and Talladega Nights one night.
Yep.
But if I would have planned ahead, last weekend the drive-in there in Bloomington had Beetlejuice Part 2 and Batman, the 89.
Michael Keaton movies.
Yes.
Whereas they could have solved the issue.
Just have both Beetlejuice movies?
Yes. That would have been the smarter thing to do.
Yeah, and I guess we missed the... You don't know who Sammy Terry is, do you?
I've heard the name before.
Okay, so you know Elvira.
Yeah,
Okay, Owen, are you aware of who Elvira is, or any like does that name mean anything at all to you? She's probably the best example of what I'm about to explain.
I've heard it before.
Okay,
Elvira, Mistress of the Dark.
do you know like what she does?
No.
Okay,
Have you ever seen Mystery Science Theater 3000?
Yeah, I have quite often in the past.
There you
okay,
go.
so it's conceptually similar, but basically in the I want to say 60s, could have been the 50s, but I want to say it's the 60s. The That's this newfangled television thing. All the studios had these like packages of movies. Like, well, what do we do with these things? We want to put them on TV so we can make money. Well, they had like old horror movies, and like you couldn't run those during the day. So local channels would buy these packages of movies, and they would run them at like 2 in the morning or whatever. Just so they had something on there. But they're like, well, we'll just be wasting our time. Like we need to have something to entice people. So someone would go on there as like a host. So they'd introduce the movie, tell you who's in it, things like that. And then, like a commercial break, they'd talk a little bit about the movie. Some of them would, some of them wouldn't. Just depends on who they were. And so eventually this evolved into in the 80s, you had Elvira, who I can't think of her real name. It's Cassandra
Peterson,
Peterson.
I believe so. Yeah.
And her persona was Elvira. She's supposed to be a witch, uh, very well endowed.
Mm-hmm.
So like there's the sex appeal element to it. Plus, she's also a comedian with really bad jokes, and so she would introduce the movies and things like this. And you would also have other hosts like Joe Bob Briggs was on, I believe it was the movie channel at the time, and then eventually in the '90s he went over to TNT for Monster Vision, and now he's on Shudder, where he's the highest rated show on there.
If you've ever seen Count's Customs, Danny the Count, he used to do that in Vegas.
Yeah.
His parents owned the channel he did it for, I do believe.
So anyway, where I'm going with all this is here in Indiana we had a guy like that too. Sammy Terry was his name, is his persona, and he's supposed to be like a ghoul or something, So he's got the makeup and like a cloak, and he's got his pet spider, and I think a rat, I think a skull, all with the goofy names like Scully and things like that. And he does, like introducing the movies and everything. And so anyway, I saw an ad not too long ago where they were like, "Oh, Sammy Terry's gonna be there." I was like, "That dude's got to be 95 years old." I go, "Well, I was wrong. He's actually dead. It's his son took it over." So anyway, he was at the drive-in, and I don't know if it was the Bloomington drive-in or the one in Mitchell, like this last weekend. So they sold out. Because apparently he's actually pretty good at the whole shtick, and so yeah.
Nice.
But yeah. So if I ever mention Joe Bob Briggs, that's what he does. And like I said, he's on Shudder. He's the whole reason I subscribed to Shudder. So they've already been renewed for next season. Going to be a Halloween special. I think one of them's actually going to be on AMC for Fear Fest. It's because it's in like the middle of the week. So if you don't have Shudder, I think it'll be on there. But if you don't have Shudder, like check it out. Just a quick note though, if you do, when you look through the back catalog, you're going to notice there's some episodes missing because Shudder periodically loses the rights to some of the movies. So, like, they can't show the movie if they don't have the rights to stream it. So, and that sometimes happens like 2 weeks after it's broadcast sometimes. So, you got to jump on it. But no, like this last weekend, no, the weekend before, they had the finale for the season was a 6-movie marathon. I actually watched most of it.
Like, what movies?
It started like at 9 o'clock at night and ended like I think 10:30 the next morning.
What movies?
Oh God, I knew you'd ask.
Was
me that
it at
question.
least a series?
No. Let's see. The first movie was.
Why didn't he do like the Phantasm movies?
No. Well, he does that. He did that for Christmas one year. Phantasm 1, 3, and 4, and 5, because 2 is made by different studios, so they didn't have the rights to it.
Didn't he like skip another one because they destroyed the Barracuda?
I don't think so. But God, what did they play? There was a Spanish movie that I don't remember the name to. A Chinese movie I don't remember the name to. I know the last movie was Galaxy of Terror, which I'd actually already seen. It's a Roger Corman movie. Uh, James Cameron did a lot of the effects on it, like the hallway scenes.
Yeah.
They look kind of competent till you realize they're just like styrofoam McDonald's containers spray painted copper. Which you couldn't do today because McDonald's didn't have styrofoam containers. But yeah,
the plastic containers just don't have the same look.
Also, there's a scene I'm not even going to describe here. Like, just fair warning. There's a very, I don't even know what words I can use on YouTube to describe this scene. Say it involves a woman and a giant caterpillar ant kind of thing, and like things that you just can't unsee. Let's put it to you that way.
I feel like leaving it ambiguous is worse.
It is.
It had its way with her, okay?
Okay.
Like, I mean, it was bad.
Okie dokie then.
Yeah. Like, that was her fear, apparently. Although I could have sworn her fear was like being eaten by it. And I think Roger Corman is just like, a little TNA, whatever. So,
Okay.
I mean, the guy's made 700 movies. He knows what the hell he's talking about. Well, he died earlier this year, unfortunately. I think it was 94. I think he had 3 movies still in production. And we could all hope to aspire to that.
At 94, 3 movies in production.
To have that kind of a legacy, like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
We might hit 700 episodes.
I think Piranha was one of the movies. Not Piranha 2, which James Cameron directed. Yeah. And then the first movie was also a Roger Corman produced movie, and God, I can't remember who the hell it was.
Death Race?
No, unfortunately. But, so one of the guests was Rhonda Shear, whose name probably doesn't mean anything to either of you. But you know what we were just talking about? Well, USA had their own version of that too. It was called Up All Night. Rhonda Shear was the host, like on Friday or Saturday, and then the other night was Gilbert Gottfried. It was great. And so Joe Bob there the whole time was like trying to ask her like serious questions, like, so did you ever actually watch the movies, or did you just like, get a gist of what they were, and then they'd come back, and she's like, no, I'd watch them, they'd send them to me, I'd watch them like fast forward in my kitchen, but I'd watch them. And she's like, Gilbert didn't. He thought they were all stupid. Oh. But yeah, so anyway, other channel news. I do have some other videos recorded already. I have, like, they're probably going to pop up before this one, because I've got one already in the editor right now. Another campaign inspiration video. The good, the bad, and the ugly. So.
Isn't that every D&D campaign, though?
No, because this involves, like, NPCs and betrayals, and it's less straightforward, the treasure hunting part, because you get like a third of the way into it before you even realize you're after the treasure. You're just like doing random murder hobo stuff. The whole, with Tuco. Because you've seen the movie.
Yeah.
Owen, you have not, correct?
No.
Okay. You should. You definitely should. It is one of the better westerns.
Yeah, I'm hesitant to call it the best because I haven't watched a ton of westerns, but it's usually in the top 5. And for good reason. It's got good production quality. It's a good story, but it's one of those, like, everyone says it's the best one. So like, a lot of Western aficionados like, oh, the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's like, watch something else. It's one of those kind of deals where, where, like, the Patriots were kind of like that for a while for football. It's like, of course they're going to win, the Patriots. But
you should watch the good, the bad, and the ugly, Open Range, Rooster Cogburn.
You prefer the...
Those are my 3.
You prefer the True Grit, right?
The old True Grit is the better True Grit.
You prefer
even though the Jeff Bridges one is more accurate to the book, apparently. John Wayne would not grow a beard.
I guess I should watch the original at some point, because I like the Jeff Bridges one, but I can see where the Western purist might not like it as much, because it's a little too jokey.
Oh, I'm fine with that. I'm a John Wayne fan.
Yeah. You like that movie where he played Genghis Khan?
Never watched it. Yes, there is a movie where John Wayne, all-American football player turned actor, actually, football player, because he played college football, turned firefighter, turned actor, played Genghis Khan.
Yes, the notably Mongolian Genghis Khan.
Yes.
They accomplished this with a giant black Fu Manchu, if I recall correctly.
Yes.
I think isn't it called the Conqueror?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So we talk about like race swapping in current movies. It definitely used to be the other way. There was a lot of whitewashing happened,
Yes.
and that's unfortunate.
Not a good thing.
No.
John Wayne, great cowboy, great soldier when acting. Horrible Mongolian.
He was not a fan of Clint Eastwood's movies, as I understand it.
No.
Didn't thought it was dishonorable to shoot a guy in the back for one thing.
Yes.
Whereas Clint Eastwood's characters are like, Dad's dead. Like, I'm not worried about honor. His character's a lot more in the vibe of an anti-hero.
Yep.
Like the bad guy's going to wind up dead, one way or the other.
Looking at how they do cowboy movies, you have the difference between like The Punisher and Captain America. Yeah.
Post World War II Captain America.
Yes.
Because World War II Captain America was fighting a war. Like, he killed people right and left.
Yep.
But yeah, so I've got that. I've got a video that I've tried recording like 4 times, and I just keep ranting and raving every time. So we're actually just going to discuss the topic today.
What is it?
We'll get to it. And then I've been slowly filming segments for a zombie video that I'm going to do where I talk about the different types of zombies in movies. It's definitely going to be like multiple parts and put together, and hopefully I can get some footage and some stuff in there. But it's going to be lengthy, because I'm already at like the half-hour mark, and I've only talked about 2 movies. So
you're only on like 2 different types of zombies.
Yes, and the only difference between
the
them
slow and the fast.
Oh no, God no! I haven't even got to fast yet.
Bacteria versus viral.
No. So far it's been the baseline, which I went with The Walking Dead, because they seem to be the most base zombies I can find. Whereas Romero zombies are actually different from most other zombies in one very crucial aspect.
They can run.
They can learn.
Oh, there's that one too.
Yeah.
He does. The one guy does learn how to use a gun.
Yeah, Bub is taught, and Big Daddy in Land of the Dead learns quite a bit. So it's not just Bub.
We met him, did we not?
We did, yes. The guy that played him, he was there at Comic-Con. And also, even just in the very first movie, in the first zombie they encounter, Night of the Living Dead, it can't get into the car Barbara's in, and reaches down and picks up a brick to smash through the window. Like, Walking Dead zombies don't do that.
No.
They're dumb as a box of rocks.
Yep.
So that's why I went with them as the baseline. So I described those, then I moved on to the Romero zombies, and that's where I'm at the moment. So Korean zombies are probably next.
Oh, the hyper fast, really, really angry, definitely going to kill you zombies.
Yeah, but there's some other things to them that separate them.
Yeah. Or you're also then going to get into the voodoo zombies.
I probably will, but they're basically just the same as the baseline zombies in most in the main example I know of. So.
Except for they are like whoever creates them can actually control them.
Well, one of the main examples is the movie Zombie 2, which, very, very briefly, the reason it's called that is because Dawn of the Dead was released as Zombie overseas. So Zombie 2 is meant to actually be a prequel to explain where the zombies came from, and they went with voodoo zombies, but you never actually see them being created. They just exist on this island after a certain point, and then spread to New York. So that's the Italian horror background for Dawn of the Dead. So not canon to Dawn of the Dead, but it's there. Yeah, I should do a whole segment just on Italian horror movies and the batshit insanity you run into with them. That'll be for another day, though. So that's most of channel news at the moment, I do believe. I don't think there's been any other major videos. Other than talking about the Acolyte, because no one will shut up about it. We'll get to that when we get to streaming, though.
It's over.
Oh, you would think so. The fight is not over yet, though. Like, yeah, it's gone.
You guys will have to fill me in. I skipped the Acolyte.
I'll fill you in when we get there to streaming. So, for movies, has anyone watched any new movies lately?
Can't say that I have.
No.
I think the last one I saw was Alien Romulus.
Oh.
So, yeah. You had a question or a comment about that, though? We were talking before we started filming, and I was like, hey, we need to start because we need to get this on tape.
Yeah, is it any good?
Yes, it is good. There are very mixed reviews. I will say that. I think for the most part they're positive, but there's a gentleman in England who pointed something out that I never really considered. Mr. H, I believe, is Mr. H Reviews. I think is his video moniker here on YouTube. And I'm pretty sure he's England based on his accent, but I'm not 100% certain. As he pointed out, the Alien fan base is not a cohesive fan base.
Oh, no.
Because the movies just go in like 6 different directions. So, like, most of the fans seem to rally behind either Alien or Aliens, and there's like some real animosity between some of them that only like one or the other for some reason.
Well, some of the people like a little bit of scary with their action. Other people like a little bit of suspense with their scary.
Yeah. So then you have Alien 3, which has its fans, but
wait, there's actually fans of that movie?
There are. It's not a bad movie.
All in all, it is not a horrible movie. I don't.
Then we get to Alien Resurrection, which is a kind of horrible movie.
No, it's not. I like it. I actually like Alien Resurrection. I do not defend it as a good movie.
But the point is, it goes for more of a action, I don't want to say jokey, but like less serious.
Yes. It goes, definitely tries to be a little sillier with the topic than serious like Aliens was.
Right. And so that has its own fans. And then you go back to serious, but like in a wildly different direction with Prometheus.
Which was good.
And then you have Covenant, which is kind of like, oh, we got to reel it back in just a little bit here.
We got to go back to the Xenomorphs.
Yeah. So you've got people that like the different movies for different reasons. So any new movie cannot be all things to all people. It just can't be. So Romulus seems to be going, it's hoping to try to recapture the suspense of Alien.
Okay.
Now the problem is we know everything about the Xenomorphs at this point. So the mystique is basically gone. We do get some new stuff. But, you know, to a lot of people it's like, that's not enough, and then they're complaining that they just copied the rest from the other movies.
Here's a question. Does it explain what happened to the people at the end of Alien Covenant?
No. However, it does, like, just in case anyone out there, because I keep seeing people on YouTube saying, oh, Prometheus and Covenant aren't canon anymore. They didn't watch Alien Romulus, because yes, they are. They are very firmly in canon. Because they mentioned Mr. Wayland going off to find the engineers. The black goo is there. Like, those movies are firmly entrenched in the canon now. Like, if there was ever any doubt.
So, we don't get to find out what happens with, I think it was Tennessee?
Correct. Now,
Danny McBride's character.
Now, however, given that this movie was very financially successful thus far, there's already talk of more movies. So,
look,
hopefully some of that talk is, here, Ridley Scott, before you die, give us our 3rd movie, explain what the hell David's doing. If you can, tie it back into those. If you can't, oh well. Mysteries of the Universe.
Explain what David's doing. If you have a chance, you could tie it into the crash ship in Alien. If not, don't worry about that part. Just tell us what David's doing.
So, there are a few negatives to the movie, I'm not going to lie. Because of the condensed time frame, like, the gestation period for the alien seems to be about 20 minutes.
Not a day?
Right. Now, you could possibly explain that, given that the facehuggers weren't naturally created. So, also, if I were to tell you that there was debris from the Nostromo, would you believe me based on the explosion that destroyed the Nostromo? You know, that thing looked like a series of supernovas in space.
Clarify this, the Nostromo.
The ship from Alien.
What is the mining ship. Is that the tug ship or the refinery part?
The refinery part.
No, that thing's completely gone.
Well,
the tug part would be completely gone.
Well, yeah, no. There's debris.
How much? Like a lot?
There was enough that there was a giant piece that said Nostromo on it, just to tell you that for sure that's where we're going with all this. A ship shows up, scans the debris field, finds this thing, and brings it on board. They bring it on board the ship, they cut it open, and you can see that what it is it's the xenomorph that Ripley blasted out into space. It like cocooned itself up. Which also means, for whatever it's worth, just throwing them out into space doesn't kill them.
No, but if you do like Ripley clone did to the child one,
Oh, well, yeah.
that's dead.
Yeah. So, but what this ultimately means is the Queen from Aliens isn't dead. It's out in space somewhere.
Pissed off at Ripley.
Probably, yeah. I would be. So that's an out they now have if they want to continue that branch and say that, yeah, let's just kind of forget Alien 3 and 4 and because that whole, like, we ran into the Highlander problem of, oh, we destroyed them all. How do we make a sequel? I mean, the other solution is just backtrack to Prometheus and be like, yeah, David just sent more ships out with more eggs.
If the Queen can survive deep space, that gives why the reason there was an egg on the Sulaku, as in she got her way back in, set off the fire.
I mean, I think we're just supposed to hand wave that because there's no logical way that could have made it on board.
Look,
unless a drone was also on board the drop ship with an egg. You know, the Queen is like, grab that one, come on, you know, which I assume sounds like or something similar.
Pheromones.
No, she clearly communicated with him. When Ripley's there, she clearly like turns to him and hisses and they react.
Maybe the pheromones are in her saliva.
Could be.
Alien species, like, no clue how their biology works.
Yeah, so before I get into the next little part of that, Owen, where do you stand on which movie's the good and the bad and
the ugly?
The Alien franchise.
You gotta at least agree the ugly is Alien 3.
Well, you've only
and that's the bad.
You've only seen the main four, though, right? Because you haven't seen Prometheus and Covenant yet.
I've only seen the main four.
Okay.
I think that me and my dad are definitely more invested in the horror and suspense of Alien than Aliens.
Okay. Fair enough. I honestly think, for me, it's a toss-up between which one of the two is the better. But for different reasons.
For me, it just depends on what I'm in the mood for, which I consider better at the time.
Yeah.
Do I want suspense, thriller? Then I go Alien. Do I want action thriller? I'll go Aliens. Do I want campy action? Alien Resurrection. Do I want to completely torture myself? Alien 3.
Wow. I never contemplated it like that.
That it's based on what you're in the mood for at the time?
No, the torturing myself watching Alien 3. I think that's the one I've most recently watched on TV.
If I get the mood to watch the series, I make myself sit through Alien 3. I do. I do not care for Alien 3. I can see how it has its good points, but I just... To me, honestly, it's the fact they went with CGI Xenomorph.
Yeah.
It was not practical effects. I think if it had been a practical Xenomorph, like costume, all that, and then maybe touched up post-production with CGI, it would have done better.
Well, in that case, you'll probably like Romulus. A lot of the effects are practical.
Cool.
Almost all the space stuff's definitely miniatures. Like there can't be a whole lot of CGI there. It's too detailed. It's got to be miniatures. Some of the aliens, it's a guy in suit. I'm sure some of it's CGI because there's a few scenes that just couldn't be a guy in suit. I'm sure.
I mean, even in Covenant and Prometheus, they had CGI scenes.
The surprise thing at the end is a guy in a suit.
Surprise thing at the end.
Yeah. Let's just say that there's a concept from Alien Resurrection that gets another go around.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I've seen the screen captures.
Yeah.
Can people just please put a spoiler tag on some things?
Oh no, I went looking it up.
Oh,
I won't go any farther with that one. Uh,
Like, I don't care about spoilers. That I don't.
we do get to see. This is a very minor spoiler, Owen. We do get to see another aspect of the life cycle of the xenomorph, like possibly explaining how it gets so big so fast.
It eats a lot.
No, like in this case, it like cocooned itself like into the hull of the ship and like rapidly grew inside there, like a butterfly. And was
Ew.
possibly drawing electricity straight from the ship to power itself to do it. And in typical H.R. Giger fashion, it looked like a giant set of lady parts.
Of course.
So yeah.
They probably went back to some of his artwork to
Oh, I'm sure.
figure out how it should look.
I'm sure. Oh, when you're a little bit older, you need to watch the movie Species and tell me if you think that's like a weird prequel to Alien.
It way looks like it.
Well, it's based on Giger's work also. So,
I know.
yeah.
But then again, so are the Harkonnens and David Lynch's Dune.
Yeah. So anyway,
I wish we'd gotten Jodorowsky's Dune. I'm off track.
so probably all we're going to say on Alien Romulus for the moment. We also had the War of the Rohirrim trailer for Lord of the Rings.
Looks interesting.
Yeah. Up until that point, I didn't know it was animated. I thought it was a live-action movie coming out.
Oh. Animated.
Yeah, like I get that now. Like it looked really good. Definitely got to read the part of the appendices it's based on. Apparently, it's like 4, maybe 6 pages. Doesn't even mention the main character by name. So we'll see. The main guy is Helm Hammerhand, man for which Helm's Deep is named, for this battle that's in the movie.
Well, if it's named after him, why didn't it get named Hammerhand?
It's Helm's Deep. He's Helm.
Yeah, but Hammerhand's Keep would have sounded so much better.
Well, the horn is named the Horn of Helm Hammerhand.
No.
So yeah, this is a kind of like quasi-crucial moment in the history of Rohan and their relations with Gondor and some of their neighbors. And I believe this is the battle after which Saruman gets the keys to Orthanc, and so that's how he ends up. That's how he's at the tower later on.
Isn't this also like what explains the animosity between the Rohirrim and the Wilders, whatever they are?
It could be
The Hill Folk, I think it is.
I think it could be based on the trailer. Yeah.
Is it the Hill Folk?
I think they were just called Wild.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, you tokenologists out there,
Tolkienologists.
let us know.
Yeah, like I said, it looks good. You know, it's an anime style. And you said you did not see this, correct?
No.
All right, well, that's your homework for the next episode.
Yep.
You also got to set your dad down and have him watch it.
Yep. That definitely can tell it's anime.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's gonna be good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely going to watch it.
Like, my bar right now is better than Rings of Power.
That's a pretty low bar, Chad. Had a little bit of a technical glitch there. So I think we were wrapping up talking about War of the Rohirrim trailer, right?
And my low bar for the movie being good.
Yes, that's what we were on. Was that better than the Rings of Power is an exceptionally low bar.
Very low.
So
I will admit this. FYI, I have not actually seen the Rings of Power.
Oh, neither have I. I've heard it's trash.
So, yeah.
maybe we'll have to mention that in streaming.
Yeah.
Well, that's trash. We just did.
I'm debating on if I'm going to like torture myself and watch it at some point.
I have been tempted to, and then I've been like, but I have other people that I know that watch it, and they just say it's horrible.
Jeff said it's awful. Although he said season 2 has been better, but he's waiting for the other shoe to drop on that one. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the part where he finds out that orcs are married and have families.
Probably.
Which, I'm not going to claim to be an expert Tolkien scholar, but I am, like, pretty damn certain that that's not the way it is in the books. Like, I'm pretty sure they literally have, like, breeding pits like in the movies.
You mean where they pull them out of the mud and, like, pull the... Yeah.
Like, I'm relatively certain that is actually how they reproduce. Like, I don't think there are any, like, lady orcs.
I always just assumed it was like any, raiding and pillaging and society.
Oh, well, I think half orcs are mentioned at some point, so you may be onto something. Although, there is actually... You've read the books, right? Is that a look of, that's a silly question because the answer is yes, or because the answer is no?
By books, which books do you mean?
Let's just stick with the regular...
The Hobbit,
let's stick
the
with
Fellowship of the Ring,
let's stick with the trilogy.
The Two Towers,
let's stick with the trilogy.
The Return of the King, like, where do we cut it off here?
The main trilogy.
Yes.
Okay, because I believe that whenever they're in Sarathungal, I believe one of the orcs there, like, talks about the war at the end of the Second Age as if he was there. Because if they're corrupted elves, they're immortal too.
Yeah.
So it's just that, most of them die a violent death well before that point.
True.
But, like, the way he's talking like he was there. So I think some of the orcs have, like, they've been around for a while.
They'd be really good fighters.
Yeah, probably.
And he got bested by a gardener from the Shire.
Who was unknowingly using the ring. He had the ring in his possession. It was making him sound bigger and mightier than he was, because he finally wanted something to save Frodo. And so the ring was giving him what he wanted to get it closer to Mordor. Yeah, that's why he hesitates ever so briefly before he gives the ring back.
Yeah, but it still proves he is the strongest character in the entire book series.
Yeah, I know.
He willingly gives up the ring.
He willingly gives up the ring, and it's him and Tom Bombadil and Bilbo that do.
Bilbo's,
yeah,
he doesn't necessarily hand it over to someone. He just kind of...
He was cajoled, but he did give it up.
Yes.
So, yeah. Anyway, I don't know. Is anything coming out soon? Transformers 1, maybe? You mentioned Beetlejuice already.
I wouldn't mind seeing Transformers 1. I don't have high hopes for it.
Owen, you got anything you're looking forward to on the horizon?
Well, they released the trailer for the third Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
Well, I haven't seen that yet. I didn't watch the second movie. I really should, I suppose.
Yeah, so should I.
You got... the first movie was just Sonic, and then the second movie, you had... Well, essentially now you have Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails.
Yeah.
The main three.
Yeah.
The antagonist is Shadow.
Okay.
Who, if the internet is to be believed, is played by Keanu Reeves.
That is true.
Okay.
No CGI, it's just Keanu Reeves.
Oh, man.
They are getting Jim Carrey back to play Eggman.
Yeah.
Good.
So I have a question on that front. Like, why is he alternatively named Dr. Robotnik and Eggman? Why didn't they just stick with Dr. Robotnik?
I have no clue.
Like, I mean, even in the games, why they do that? Because I know they do.
That is probably a translation issue, and who did the translations.
I mean, it could be, but in the first movie, he was Dr. Robotnik.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Robotnik's his legal name.
Yeah. Well, I know you and I went to go watch. That was the last movie before COVID shut the world down we went to go watch. We went to go watch that, then we went to go eat Chinese food.
Oh, yeah, we did. And then we heard about COVID.
No, I think we already knew about it. I think it was one of those, it might be the last time, let's go for it.
Oh, yeah, it was.
But we went to go watch it because it was solidarity with the studio actually listened to the fans and changed the CGI.
Yes,
we were
got rid of the horrible CGI Sonic.
Yeah.
And replaced it with an actual, good-looking Sonic.
And so we were like, good or bad, we have to stand by this decision so they'll actually listen to people again.
Yep.
I wouldn't say the second one's as good as the first one, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
Sequels very rarely are as good as the original.
It's a whole conversation in Scream 2 about this.
Like, the second Sonic the Hedgehog movie, personally, I don't know, I feel like it was lacking something. Also spent, like, way too much time on the human character side plots.
Well,
look, there's only one human character side plot that we need.
Robotnik.
Yes. And his assistant from the first movie.
From the end of the first movie?
I meant from the first movie that he kept berating because he couldn't get him in a good coffee.
I meant the rock that he had at the end of the movie.
Oh, that too.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I'm hoping that it's good. But in terms of what's not good, they also...
the other trailer you mentioned.
Yes,
the other
yes.
trailer.
Owen said he's looking forward to the Minecraft movie.
No, I did not. He's putting words in my mouth over here. Well, Minecraft has always... If you haven't heard of Minecraft...
What rock have you been living under?
Maybe you'll never living underneath that rock Jim Carrey uses as assistant at the end of Sonic 1. Yeah, go ahead, Owen. Explain.
Well, the first problem of the movie is the visuals, because it has a very... Minecraft is a very blocky style.
Yeah, it essentially looks like it's made out of Lego blocks almost.
Yeah.
And
almost.
so, like, the movie tries to have, like, that blocky style, but it's also...
People.
Too photorealistic and detailed.
Yeah.
And not just the environment. And then there's the characters.
Steve? Played by Jack Black, who didn't shave for it?
Yeah. I mean, all of the
And Jason Momoa?
all the characters are just real people, green screened in.
Yeah.
And then you have Jack Black with a t-shirt who calls himself Steve. That's the entire character.
Well,
have they given us the name for Jason Momoa's character?
I don't think so.
I don't know, but I do know. I think it's the Dune Facebook group took a snapshot of that. And they're like, man, just imagine if they would have cast this goober in the Dune movie, which obviously he is. This is Duncan, Idaho.
Yeah,
and potentially in all the sequels eventually, if they really go for it. For those of you that don't know, a little bit of spoilers from a book that came out 50 years ago. Duncan, Idaho gets cloned like a lot.
A lot.
And survives well, I think, past the reign of the God Emperor. So, yeah, and he rules for like 10,000 years.
Yep.
But no, in the trailer it seems like that the plot of the movie is going to be about a glowing blue MacGuffin.
Of course.
Oh.
You know, instead of like the actual plot of the game, which was to go fight, go to this other dimension and kill the dragon there.
The Ender Dragon? I've never actually played the game. I just look at the Lego sets because I think they look really like... I think there's an aesthetic to them that I love because it's just so crazy. It's like, oh, it's a fox building because it's a building it's built like a giant fox. And it's like... That's absurd.
Anytime I go to play Minecraft, any plan I had disappears in the... How tall can I make this tower made out of gravel blocks now? Doing it 4 walls and circular stair pattern in the middle of it. And then I find myself up among the clouds. I'm like, why did I start this for? Oh yeah, I did this because my chest kept getting full of dirt and gravel, and now there's just dirt in them. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen the trailer, so I'll have to watch it before next time.
No.
Or not.
I mean...
Yes.
The human characters look out of place. The animals look ugly.
What? You don't like screaming pink cuboid sheep?
I mean, not all of the designs look bad. Like, the designs that were really, like, weird in the game look fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dirt looked alright.
I mean...
I've seen bits here and there of the trailer. Actually, I might have sat through the entire trailer.
I'll
Was it a YouTube ad I watched?
Yeah, I got it as a YouTube ad.
Yeah, that would have been where I watched it then. Because
While,
I'm like, what is this?
while watching a video about how the trailer looks bad.
Oh no, I wasn't that lucky.
Well, that's like some of the videos I've seen recently about the Acolyte, where people are talking about like really trashing it and everything, and then the commercial that pops up is for the Acolyte.
Well, yeah. It's that algorithm kicking in.
Yeah. I mean, I get it, but it's like a little bit of self awareness here, guys.
So, I could say that I hope the movie's good, but I'm going to be honest, I don't think it will be.
He has a smidge of hope, folks. A smidge.
A fool's hope.
I mean, this one, if it flops, this wouldn't be the only video game flop that Jack Black's been in.
Yeah, it could be a matter of which one flops worse. I don't know if it's possible to flop worse than Borderlands, but they might give it a go.
It'll make the original Mario movie look like a masterpiece.
Yeah. I mean, I unironically kind of like that movie.
It is. If you just that, if you kind of take it away from trying to be a Mario movie, it's a watchable movie.
That's going on the list.
However, you also have to realize, take that movie with a grain of salt because they were literally being given script rewrites daily. And I think at some point, some of the rewrites were for scenes they'd already shot and they didn't have the set for anymore.
Yeah. I caught this clip of Jesse Ventura talking about filming Predator. And he was explaining, like, what a lot of people don't know is, like, when it comes near the end of filming, they just start cutting scenes because they're running out of money. And, like, the money people start getting nervous that they're not done yet. And so, like, they just start cutting stuff right and left with some movies. And so the scene he was talking about was where he gets shot, and is it Poncho who's like, "You're bleeding, man." He's like, "I ain't got time to bleed." Like, they were going to cut that. And the only reason they didn't is because Arnold was sick that day. And like, well, we got to shoot something. Like, well, let's shoot this. And, it's one of the most memorable scenes in the whole movie.
Yeah. But besides becoming a type of Tyrannosaurus.
Oh, yeah. Have you seen Predator?
No.
You should.
Yeah, you should. If you ever wanted to know what Shane Black looks like,
Yep.
director of Iron Man 3, Predators, I think. Is that the fourth one? Is that what the hell it's called?
Wait. You had Predator, Predator 2, Predators.
Is it The Predator?
Then you have The Predator.
That's it.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not confusing at all. Yeah, so Shane Black directed that. Iron Man 3, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, and I think Lethal Weapon 2? Yeah, he's in the movie. He's one of the commandos.
Yep.
Like starring in the movie. Yeah. So yeah. That's a thing. That was like the most macho assemblage of human beings I think ever made. With Arnold, Carl Weathers.
In his prime.
Yeah, in his prime. Jesse Ventura.
In his prime.
Billy, what's his real name?
Don't know, but he was in his prime too.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, just, it was spectacular. Like, probably enough testosterone to kill a rhinoceros or something on there.
Enough muscle mass to bench press both of us together.
Probably.
Probably only one of them required to.
And originally Van Damme is the Predator until he was like, this isn't working.
Yeah. I think he probably went into that movie thinking, oh, it's going to be me hunting these guys in the forest.
Yeah.
Not put the suit on, you're an alien now.
Yeah. Yeah. Although it's one of those movies that, like...
Although, they did get one guy to play two roles.
Hang on. Damn it. Who?
Guy that's in the suit for the Predator.
Yeah.
He's the helicopter pilot. Black guy.
At the end?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Huh.
Yep.
I'll be damned. I was thinking it was the Russian.
Nope.
Because you know who that is, right?
Nope.
It's Sven Thorensson. He's like Arnold's workout buddy. And
Yeah.
he's in he's in most of the movies Arnold's in. Like in The Running Man, he's Richard Dawson's security guard.
Oh yeah, the one that shows up there at the end. He's like, "Get him," and he's like, "No."
Yeah, because he'd been berating him throughout the whole movie, talking about steroids on his brain, and finally he's like, "Must be the steroids," and just walks off for Arnold to kill Richard Dawson.
Yeah.
In a very ironic fashion.
Have you ever seen The Running Man?
No.
You should. Also, they're making a remake.
Yeah. Imagine a movie based on a book by Stephen King about a dystopian future where people are forced to, like prisoners, they make them compete in a blood sport on TV.
Yep.
And, like, then put Arnold in as the guy that they throw into the arena. And Richard Dawson, the guy who used to host Family Feud way back in the day, is the guy who's, like, hosting it in the show.
Yep.
In the movie. And, yeah, it's pretty good.
Wait, doesn't that have Jesse Ventura in it too?
Yes, he's one of the guys.
The gladiators.
He's the one who's like, I'm not going in there. He's killing everybody. Screw this.
Isn't he also the one that's going like, what's with all of this?
Yeah, they give him some stupid costume.
Yeah,
he's not having it. Then Yaphet Kotto is the black guy that's with him from the prison camp. I don't know the other guy. And then the woman's Maria Conchita Alonso. And then I believe the leader of the resistance is, I believe that's Mick Fleetwood. Like Fleetwood Mac Fleetwood. Yeah. Pretty sure that's him. He has the same problem Richard Dawson has. Because there's at one point Richard Dawson's trying to explain, it's like Gilligan's Island. You know, Gilligan's Island. Yes, the one with the boat. And so they're getting ready to like take over the thing, and he tells his guys, like, you have the con, Mr. Spock. And the guy's like, who? He's just like, but yeah, great movie. I should definitely let you borrow that too.
You should.
Yeah, I know I was going to say something else about all that, but I've totally lost it now.
I do this a lot to them, folks.
Yeah. Oh, the other role the guy's in that you might have seen. Have you seen Gladiator?
No.
That's an excellent movie. You should watch it.
And they're also making a sequel to it.
I don't know if it's excellent or not. It remains to be seen.
I would like to see it, though.
I'm going to watch it.
Because, you know, it actually shows one thing they did with the Colosseum.
Oh, the naval battle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They would actually flood the Colosseum and have mock naval battles.
Yeah.
Because why not?
Yeah. But
I saw a comment online with that. How do they keep the everything below the Colosseum from flooding?
I'm not so sure that they do.
That's my thought.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they just evacuate everyone and everything and just
get everything we need for tomorrow out, close it all up, we'll let it flood out later.
Yeah, because the water probably has to leave that way, you know, because how else do you drain it?
Yeah.
It's got to be underground into the cisterns and everything all around Rome.
Yeah.
But
which means the one guy they send down there to swim to pull the plug, let it all drain out, you gotta be able to hold his breath a long time.
Well, I imagine they've got like pulleys and ropes and everything, but you never know.
What height of Rome opulence? Pulleys or send the guy down to swim and pull it out?
Yeah, I mean maybe. But,
we'll send the guy.
Well, anyway, in Gladiator, he plays Tigris de Gaul, the guy that fights him one-on-one in the arena.
Wait. The guy they pulled out of retirement specifically to fight him and kill him?
Yes.
And then it's, well, he's a better fighter.
Yeah. Yeah, that guy. That's Sven Thornson. Also, he's in the first Conan movie.
Conan's dad?
No, he's Thorgrim. You know, Thulsa Doom has his two goons.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there's one, Rexor, who's Ben Davidson, like NFL football player, taller than Arnold, that guy.
Okay. Here's the thing.
Rexor is the one that talks. Thorgrim's the one with the big hammer.
Thorgrim's the one with the big hammer.
Yes.
So he's the one with the snake. Or is he the other one that takes Conan's dad's sword?
No, he's the one that's the snake.
Okay.
Yeah, that's him. So that was him in his prime. Yeah. He's also in the Conan the Destroyer. He's the head of the Queen's Royal Guard whenever they ambush them.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get to see his face now.
So he's in a lot of Arnold movies.
Yes.
Is he in The Running Man? No, wait. No,
Yeah,
not
he
The
is.
Running Man.
We already talked about that. He's the guard.
Not The Running Man. Christmas movie. Jingle All the Way.
That I don't know. I'd have to double check. And I really don't want to because I hate that movie. I watched that movie and Space Jam at the theater in the same day, and I came away thinking Space Jam was like Oscar material.
What about Kindergarten Cop?
You know, I didn't like that at one point in time, but like in hindsight, I can see the appeal. I don't know if he's in it though. I don't think he is. I don't think he's in Total Recall either. I'm drawing a blank on that
He'd
one.
be perfect in Total Recall.
Yeah, well, you know, he had Michael Ironside there.
True.
See you at the party, Richter. After your arms get torn off, you fall to your death. Oh man, you gotta watch that movie sometime too, Owen.
You do. Can we just give him a list of movies he needs to watch?
Well, I've got a list for you and a list for Sarah. I could just make a list for Owen too.
There you go. By the way, you need to get back in touch with me about that list and start giving me movie titles off of
Yeah, I
it.
need to. All right, so I think we've like seriously wandered off the beaten path here. Does anyone have anything else to say on the movie front before we get to streaming and start talking about movies again?
No, not really.
All right. Okay, so I think for books, the only thing I have, and I don't remember if I mentioned this in the last one, was I did finish the Dragonlance book I was reading. And I did do a review of it. Check that out, please. It was the third book in the series, so it's the last one because they tend to do trilogies for Dragonlance. They have already announced a new trilogy. It'll be about Huma Dragonbane. I think it's his last name. I mean, it's not like it's not his official last name. I think it's what they call him. So it'll be set in the past. So we won't get to see, if you watch my review, there's a major spoiler about what they may or may not have done as far as like seriously altering the canon of the rest of the Dragonlance universe in that book. But we won't see that effect in the next trilogy, so I don't know if they did or not. We'll find out. Owen, got anything on books?
Oh.
Jed? Okay, well that's it for books. On to gaming. Alright, Owen. Take it away.
Where do I even begin?
Talk about the game that got destroyed first.
Yeah. The record for the quickest shutdown of the game.
Oh yes, the scar that's gonna forever haunt Sony. Concord was a game that had a $800 million budget, 8 years in development, released I think just a few weeks ago, and shut down 10 days after it launched because nobody wanted to play it.
Yes. There were tens of people online playing it.
I believe the peak was 700.
Wow.
The peak was 700.
Just so you know, Team Fortress 2, a game that came out in 2007, has like 25,000 players right now.
Team Fortress 2 was doing better.
Well, I heard they're offering refunds now, too.
Yes.
Wait, Steam is? Sony is?
I think Sony is via all the ways you could have downloaded it. I don't know about...
That's rare.
I don't know about physical media.
Sony was... They weren't even going to argue about the refunds. They were just like, just have it.
That is very rare.
Yeah.
Ouch.
We could analyze all the ways the game failed. Well, number one, the gameplay was... It was, another 5v5 hero shooter. Everyone has unique weapons and abilities.
Overwatch.
Literally another Overwatch clone. And also, but it was slow to play.
Yeah.
And then there's
And not because the servers were overloaded.
No.
Matchmaking was probably quick.
They just decided to make the movement speed unbearably slow.
Oh, okay. Wow.
What about
That's one of those bold move, Cotton. Let's see how it plays out moments.
And then there's the character designs, because back when this game was first greenlit, Guardians of the Galaxy was the hype.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh. Okay.
Yeah. For what it's worth, I strongly suspect that was a big problem with Borderlands. Like, I know we're out of movies, but like just throwing that out there, I think they really thought they were going to try to cash in on the style and hype of Guardians of the Galaxy, like the way the movie's advertised and everything. Like, I don't know how close it is to the game. I know the game's insane too, but like the way it was marketed, I really got that vibe from it, but like not as competent.
The game has a gun that literally screams when you shoot it.
Yeah, I mean, like I haven't played the games, but I've seen the trailers for the game, so I knew that like there's a zany factor. But yeah, so continue, Owen.
No, the Concord character designs, they were not good at all. Basically, none of them were appealing in the slightest.
Ooh, it's not good.
I could show you pictures.
I'd rather you didn't.
I can give you a game with probably good character design that's appealing.
Mortal Kombat, but not the most recent one, where all of a sudden all the female fighters all of a sudden decide to put on a lot more clothing for some reason, which should actually hinder your fighting ability.
Yeah, sure, let's go with that. You could also go with Soul Calibur.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, that is not good for Sony.
Just
I believe their stock took a hit after that too, unless I'm mistaken. I'm not a stock analyst, folks, so don't take any. This is not any kind of like investment advice.
I wouldn't be surprised if the stocks took a hit. I just feel bad for the developers who worked on it.
Yeah.
Why did they go that route for a 5 versus 5 team hero shooter? Why didn't they just, look at their catalog of games, go and hit the nostalgia market? Go, we're pulling this character, this character, this character, this character, this character.
Yeah.
Like, give them all unique abilities based on their games. Go.
Yeah. Who knows?
Like, weave in some sort of overarching plot that they were all pulled from their own worlds and various dimensions, and now we're trying to break out of some sort of gladiatorial game, some overfiend set up to entertain the masses of the multiverse.
I mean, you really even need a plot?
No.
Like this is a serious question. Like, is there actually a plot to Smash Brothers? There's not, right?
No.
Like, there is like a story mode in like 2 of the games.
Okay.
Where you're just going through and beating other opponents that show up. It's not really like, here's a story. I was just giving a reason why, like, Tomb Raider would be facing Sonic.
Yeah, no, I get it. I'm just saying, like, you've already got the precedent with Smash Brothers, though.
I mean,
it's like
the plot in Smash Brothers is basically, hey, you're all here, good. Now beat each other
to the death.
I was trying to give it a little bit more than that.
Sometimes less is more, Chad. Sometimes.
Yeah, but then why do you have certain ones teaming up with each other?
I don't know. Just saying.
Like, I'm just saying, like, why?
You know, the Acolyte's not one of those situations where less is more. Like, the idea of less plot, bad idea. But anyway.
Yeah.
What else, Owen? What's going on with the Star Wars Outlaws game?
Well, Star Wars Outlaws is not nearly as catastrophic as Concord was. But
It is still up and running, so it has that going for it.
It's been out for less time, too.
Well, essentially the problem is that, well, there's really a multitude of problems. Well, it's an open world game, but it has a linear story.
It's not good.
Like,
Go to place, do thing. Go to other place, do thing.
That's every game, though.
Well, okay, but in comparison to, like, Knights of the Old Republic, you don't have to do things in any particular order until you get certain points in the game.
No, you could totally go to Nar Shaddaa and take over
What's that look for? Was it Nar Shaddaa that I took over? Maybe. I don't know. I think I've told the story before, but like,
You have.
like the greatest chain of events ever. Guy, hey, go rescue my girlfriend. I'm on it, guy. And like, I'll totally take out this criminal organization. Go to the criminal organization. Hey, I want to join up. Go take out all their enemies. Sitting around in the office laughing it up. Oh, that's great.
Betrayal.
By the way, guys,
You work for me now.
downside, I'm here to kill you now. They're like, wait, what? Take them out. Go back to tell the boyfriend. Hey, so I took them out. So my girlfriend's free? No, she works for me now. What? Guy tries to jump me. He was an artist or something. He stood no chance. And then I go to the girl to tell her all this. So wait, what's all that mean? It means where's my money? That's what that means. You work for me now. Oh, that was spectacular.
Yeah.
That definitely was far more satisfying than the short-term things like whenever I totally destroyed that woman's life. Whenever she's like, hey, my husband's dead. I have this crate skull to sell, but I can't sell it because I'm not a hunter. I am. I'll go sell it for you. I walk back out. Where's my money? What are you talking about? What? Oh, who are you? What? That's all I had. I was like, well, you should have trusted me, I guess.
Or they
just walk off. With
jump off the edge.
Oh, yeah. One guy's being harassed. Jump off the edge. They run and jump the guy. Oh my God, what'd you do? My second in command. Let's take him out before he gets too lippy. That was the moment I was like, my God, you're so much better than the guy in the first game. Like, we're going places, my friend. You are following me to the ends of the earth in this one, and you will. Oh, yeah. God. Oh, I almost forgot the other great one. This woman. Oh, my daughter's been sold into slavery. Sell yourself into slavery so you can so you keep an eye on her. That's a good idea. Yes, it is. Oh. And then when you get to kill Karth's son right in front of him. Oh, man. That was great because Karth was such a whiny bitch. But yeah. Why did you do that? You could have saved him. I've seen you do, he like rambles off all the evil shit you've done to people with before. She's like, Karth, who has the force here? Me or you? Like, who understands how this stuff happens? Sometimes you just can't reason with people. And he's like, so Karth, you want to talk about it? He's like, no, I don't. Like, I do. That bastard ran off with good armor at the end of the game. I killed every last thing on that planet trying to find him. Kata Prime is now empty because of me.
Because of Karth.
Yes, because of Karth. He's there somewhere, that bastard. Yeah. Boy, that's a great ending to that game. Not the actual ending. The ending kind of sucks, but the whole, like, you show back up on the beach and, like, oh, you're back. Like, wait a minute, something's off about you. Like, you're just now figuring that out, Karth? Haven't noticed my face has been changing throughout the whole game because I'm becoming more and more evil? Like, no, you're just now noticed because I brought my girlfriend back and she's dressed all in black, so she's obviously on the dark side, and Jolie Bindo didn't come back because I killed him. Like, so then Karth runs off, and then old Canderous Ordo is like, ha ha, I'd follow you to the gates of hell and back. And I'm like, you will, Canderous, you will. Your HK is like, glad you're back, master. Like, now let's go destroy more of the meat bags. And he, like, reprograms the R2, and it's not an R2, but whatever his unit. And then Mission Veo's like, no, you can't be evil. You can't be like, look, Mission, get with the program. Like, we're doing this. Like, no, you can't. You wouldn't hurt me. Like, you're right. I wouldn't. And use the Force to make her Wookiee friend kill her. Oh, that was great. Like, no. And he's like, I can't stop myself. Then he's like, what have I done? Kill me. And I'm like, no, dude, you're a walking tank. You're coming with me. You have the life debt with me. Oh, I destroyed those people's lives. It was great.
So back to the other Star Wars game.
No, Star Wars Outlaws, where the core of the game is that, well, it's some weird hybrid of a stealth game and a third-person shooter. Except that the enemy AI is really bad at actually finding you or shooting at you.
Nice to have a stealth game.
You know, this is a minor diversion here, and it's going to be relevant to something we're going to talk about a little bit later. I have come to the conclusion that Skynet is a terrible shot in the Terminator movies.
No, it ain't.
Oh, yes, it is.
No, it ain't.
Chad, look at any time Skynet is shooting at anybody that's not from me to you. The Terminators miss like 90% of the time.
It's not missing. It is hitting exactly where it's aiming for.
He's just aiming at empty air.
It is helping nudge people to do a certain reaction to get the future to come that Skynet wants.
No.
The end of the first movie gives us Terminator 2, which accelerated. Didn't accelerate it, postponed it. Postponed Skynet's rise, but made it more powerful.
No, even in the future war scenes, it misses like a lot.
On purpose. It has to make sure the humans make it to the time machine to go back in time where Skynet can be made.
Oh my god.
You don't you gotta understand that. Skynet is playing like 10-dimension chess here.
I'm convinced Skynet is playing checkers against itself. Like,
and it's losing.
And it's losing. Like, I'm just telling you, like, it is a horrible shot. And, like, think about any time the Terminators, like, have someone in their grip. Why throw them? It can break people's bones by squeezing. Start breaking the bones, and just till you get your way to the neck. Like instead it's like, oh, I'll throw you and hit you up against this thing to daze you, when I could just, clock you in the head and daze you and kill you. Because it's demonstrated repeatedly the Terminators are ridiculously strong. But anyway, this is all going to come up in streaming. You'll figure out why.
Okay. So, yeah, Star Wars Outlaws. Well, like, I've seen a lot of clips of gameplay where it's essentially, if the enemy sees you and starts shooting at you, if you duck in a bush, they'll just shoot above you.
That's great.
They just shoot up.
I was really hoping it was going to be like how Mark Twain described the pepper box. You know what a pepper box is?
No.
It's a pistol that has like 8 barrels in a circle. Where you fire, boom. And Mark Twain once said that the safest place to be is right in front of it, because the bullets just go wherever, So I was waiting for you to tell me that like once it locks on, the safest place is just charge right for it, because it's not going to be able to hit you. That would be great. That'd be like fighting stormtroopers.
Well, I mean, you do fight stormtroopers, but you're also fighting, the pikes in the kit.
Which, I should take that back, because we primarily see the stormtroopers fighting named characters who can't be beaten. Anytime they're fighting anyone else, they steamroll them.
Yeah.
Like, the Battle of Hoth is, like, completely one-sided.
The Battle of Scarif?
The Battle of the Alar's Homestead is completely one-sided.
Battle of Scarif doesn't go good for the rebels.
No, the Battle of Scarif, they're losing before the Death Star even shows up. Not the space battle. They were winning the space battle.
Yeah, but the ground battle
they were losing. But yeah, I mean, the Empire, if they're not fighting named characters, the Empire wins. So.
Well, yeah, but this is a named character in Star Wars Outlaws.
Yeah.
Another plucky outlaw with her marketable companion, which looks like an axolotl.
It's a space axolotl.
Forgive me. Yeah. What other ways can you choose the AI?
That some scenes I have seen where it's like, it runs off, and then you go to climb something, and it's suddenly, yeah.
How do you be an ATST? You walk right under it.
I could actually kind of see that.
Why didn't the Ewoks try that?
Yeah. The Ewoks work with log power.
And rope.
Yeah, rope.
Sorry, really thick vines.
No, but it's just that, and...
Yeah, I think it was rope. They made that net out of rope.
I mean, the graphics are fine, but it's just the AI is bad, the game's kind of linear. They have a wanted system. It's not like it's Space GTA where it's,
No, 5 stars. They're bringing the Death Star after me.
Whenever you get a high enough wanted level, you have to go fight the reinforcements. You have to go to them. They don't come to you.
What? You have... Okay. So what stops you from not going to fight those reinforcements and just not worrying about the wanted system the rest of the game?
Well, no, because they're going to send the weak reinforcements after you, the stormtroopers. So you have to go fight the death troopers, who are just slightly stronger enemies.
Wait.
I mean, the guys that could actually aim against named characters?
Oh yeah, right. I remember Rogue One.
Yeah, the characters in Rogue One, once you hit about the last 15 minutes of the movie, their character immunity suddenly wore off.
Even before that, their character immunity was kind of iffy at times.
You know, didn't aside from K2, didn't they all die via explosion?
Well, we know the two at the very end did.
Well, yes, those two obviously did, but I mean, like, because
Uh,
the two Guardians, oh god, I can't think of their names.
They died to thermal detonator.
Right, because Donnie Yen's character, he's at the console. The console gets shot and blows up, kills him eventually, and then
Guy with the heavy gun.
Baze Malbus, that was his name. He gets thermal detonated.
a thermal detonator.
The
shuttle that the one guy's in.
Yeah, Bobbie gets the thermal detonator. Now, K2 gets shot. So
a lot.
He's an exception. And then the other two, and everyone else on Scarif, got Death Starred.
Even Balin Orso, her dad.
Yeah.
Galen.
Yeah, Galen. He got killed by a bomb.
He got
photon torpedo.
Yeah.
Proton torpedo.
Yeah, proton.
Gotta keep my universes right there.
Yep.
Because you could never ever confuse proton and photon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
They all die by explosion except for K2.
Yeah.
Oh, the Forrest Whitaker's guy dies by explosion.
Yeah. I don't think Radis did, though. They probably just executed him because they took over his flagship.
Radis probably captured and interrogated.
Yeah.
I guess they just don't want to show the human characters getting shot.
Yeah, well, they showed Krennic being shot twice.
Yeah.
He's like the only guy in Star Wars that survives not once, but twice being shot.
And then it takes a third shot to kill him.
Yeah.
Shot by the Death Star.
The Death Star.
Aim for that guy. Erase him from the universe. This is my project now.
White uniform right there. That's a little bit overkill, don't you think, sir? Gotta make sure.
Can't risk letting him get control of the Death Star again. It's mine.
No, yeah. I don't have much to say. I mean, the gameplay's like, it's third-person shooting. Take cover, peek out, don't get hit. And the stealth is literally walk up behind enemy, press takedown button.
I can recommend a game to you that came out yesterday, a couple of days ago, something like that, where it is purposely slow on movement, but it's good for it. You don't have to worry about stealth mechanics because there are none.
Some game where you play a tank or something.
A walking tank. Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 came out. I have not bought it yet.
No stealth mechanics, huh?
No stealth mechanics.
So you don't get to play as the orcs?
Nope.
Trying to pretend they're the Marines?
Nope. There aren't orcs in it this time. You're facing Tyranids.
Oh,
it's a bug hunt!
Yeah.
There you go. I don't have much else to say about Star Wars Outlaws, except for the fact that you know how stormtroopers wear helmets?
Yeah.
That doesn't provide them any protection from your fist.
Wait. From a bare fist?
Yeah.
I'd say something, but Luke and Han managed to knock 2 out.
I think they shot them.
Where was the
stun setting?
Oh, smart.
That'd be my guess, because I thought we heard like a shot. You're talking about New Hope.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
I mean, but they also had like Chewbacca.
That's true. Could have just been.
Yeah.
Chad, anything else you want to say about that Warhammer game?
Well, I haven't played it, but apparently the campaign is short, 10 hours ish.
When you get devoured by high fleet Leviathan.
Don't know. I plan to buy it and actually play it. You play as Titus again, who's now been primarisized.
Primarisized.
Okay, for those of you who don't know, with Space Marines in Warhammer 40k, you have what they call the Firstborn, and then Primaris. A few years ago, with 9th edition, 8th edition, Games Workshop decided, let's update the look of the Space Marines. So just going, these are now the Space Marines, have at it. They're like, we want to make sure to really sell these models, new rules. So, they're Primaris Space Marines now.
Okay.
And the Firstborns can go through a process to become Primaris Space Marines. They get taller, bigger, and, actually look like a properly proportioned person. No squatties.
So like 5 feet thick now?
Yeah, something like that. Like 8 or 9 feet tall now. But Titus got primarisized in between games.
So finally the size of an elemental in Battletech?
Yes. And you get to play as Titus again, which they did not get the same voice actor. I guess.
Well, he's Primaris now.
Oh, yeah, but Mark Strong.
Just saying.
Like in the first game, you play as Mark. Like, Mark Strong does the voice for Titus.
Yeah, but he's a new man now. So it should be like Mark
Wahlberg?
I was going to say Hamill, but sure.
Mark Strong would have been a good choice.
No, he can't be Mark Wahlberg. He's not from Boston.
No, you need to get someone Roman. He's an Ultramarine.
Yeah, but Mark Strong's English. Just stick with that.
Did I not just say that?
He said someone Roman.
Mark Strong did great as Titus. But, yeah, you're fighting off a Tyranid invasion.
Who voices the Tyranids?
Bradley D. Baker. Because he voices everything else.
The Tyranids don't actually talk, correct?
They make sounds.
Yes.
At some point, you face the Thousand Suns. This was revealed in trailers. So, Egyptian, blue and gold guys. Chaos Space Marines.
Yeah. Does it follow,
Zenith.
Well, yeah, but who's the Primarch then?
Magnus the Red.
Magnus the Red, that's it.
Also called the Red Cyclops, because he's missing an eye.
Yeah.
Alternately depicted as one eye in the middle.
Yeah, because he's a strong psyker, right?
Or Odin-like, where he has an eye patch. Yeah. Supposed to be like one of the strongest psychers.
Yeah.
Next to the Emperor. But it has co-op mode as well. So you and like...
Play as Alfarius?
No. No, it's literally like they broke down Space Marine roles into like 5 different classes or six different classes. I don't know. I was watching this stuff, I had a migraine, and I was just like, stop. Head hurts.
So, for Owen and for the other folks out there, explain the whole Alfarius thing.
Alfarius is one of the Primarchs. He's over the Alpha Legion. Well, Alfarius is the only Primarch that had a twin, a Megron. They're identical. They look exactly like the Space Marines based on them. And all the Alpha Legion goes around saying, I'm Alfarius because they all look alike. As long as they're claiming one of them's Alfarius, their Primarch's still alive.
Yeah, but also explain like the whole like undercover infiltrating and...
Yeah, the Alpha Legion, they like to infiltrate. Their armor is like camouflaging, shifting type thing. There are Alpha Legion 8 Space Marines who get surgeries done, psychic or mentally hypnotized to be this one person for like hundreds of years until a certain trigger is put in place. And then here's your mission. Ultimate sleeper agents.
Yeah, to the point that like there's layers of deception that like they don't know that other people with them are also Alpha Legion people, and yeah, it's like the scroll idea like on steroids.
Yep. On that, there's some really great Star Wars meets Warhammer 40k Alpha Legion infiltration videos.
There were ends up being like 4 Darth Vaders.
4 Darth Vaders. None of them actually Darth Vader. Like 5 stormtroopers, where they're all like, none of them were actually stormtroopers. And then one random one that pops out of the vent. Yes. But, yeah, like, multiplayer with the classes, with co-op, where it's side missions, or side events from the main story, from the campaign. Because there would be moments like, you get radio chatter of like, mission to sabotage this, done. But in the co-op, you actually get to go sabotage it.
Yeah. That's cool.
And then you have PvP. Where it's like, you know, Space Marines versus Chaos Space Marines.
Then you can be Alfarius.
Yep.
Maybe.
Probably. Because you, like, most of the Loyalist chapters are able to be used.
Yeah.
So I figured, you know, you can use Alpha Legion somewhere in there. I'm sure PvP is just full of people screaming, I'm Alfarius.
As it should be.
Yes.
Literally, like the last chapter, the last page of the last chapter, the last Warhammer book needs to be like the Emperor just being like, I am Alfarius, once he comes back to life, because he's presently just a corpse on a throne.
You say that, but there's actually a theory it's Horus on the throne.
Oh, well, that would be a twist. I don't know how I feel about that, because then I can't say death to the false emperor, because he is a false emperor, but so
yeah, like totally doesn't work, but there is that theory.
Yeah, like I said,
there's the theory Alfarius is still alive, even though in books we have it where he's died like 3 or 4 different times.
Exactly.
Rogel Dorn has killed him.
Or has he?
Like, actually, I think he did kill him. Like, there's a list of like people that have killed him, and it's just like,
or have they?
Well,
yes.
Was that really him?
Yes, that's the issue when Alfarius and Omega look exactly like every other Space Marine out of the Alpha Legion.
I know. That's like the beauty of fighting Doctor Doom in a comic book. You're never going to kill the real one. It's going to be a Doom bot.
Every
like,
time.
Even if he takes the mask off, even if you poke him in the face, in his scarred face, and you know that it's a flesh and blood guy sitting there, it's going to be a cyborg or something. You know,
it's the thing with Ultron too.
Yeah,
Ultron's always going to come back because he's hidden somewhere.
Yes, if he's smart, he has a secondary backup off planet somewhere, but
in orbit around Earth in a computer that's no bigger than a fist. So it can't really be picked up on anything.
I would think somewhere in deep space, just because Earth attracts so
Pluto.
much attention.
Pluto.
Maybe. But yeah, I don't know. Probably about it for gaming, though.
Yeah.
You don't got anything else? I don't really have anything for gaming.
I mean,
just random commentary.
A couple other games that came out, but like I haven't played them.
No.
You're still apparently playing Command and Conquer. Is it Command and Conquer?
Oh, that's the first time I fired that up in a few months, actually. Just did that the other day.
Yeah.
Because there's a couple new games from some of the people that worked on Command and Conquer coming out. I was kind of looking at them, and I don't know, I might buy into them. But, no, fired up Red Alert the other day. The first one. The remake of the first one. So, yeah. I forgot there's only 2 comedy sides on that one. Soviets and Ukraine. Yeah, yeah.
Wow, I'm sorry I'm laughing at that.
And then all the others are Allied forces. It's the second one that brings in, I think, Iraq, Libya, I think China, maybe, as the other. Cuba, I know, is one of them. And then the Allies get Korea, South Korea. So, yeah, yeah. Red Alert's awesome. Red Alert 2 is the crown jewel, though, because that's the zany, like, alternate World War II, uh, but then adds in like psychics and crap.
Yeah.
So I really hope they get around to like polishing that one up and re-releasing it. And Command and Conquer and Tiberian Sun. That's the second one. But anyway, onward to streaming. So, you guys been streaming anything lately?
YouTube.
Hold on to that thought.
YouTube.
All right, come back to both of you. So, as I mentioned in the intro, we watched a lot of 90s movies on streaming. Got a bunch of videos for those up. Not going to go into that. Although if there's a 90s sci-fi movie you want me to look into, mention it down in the comments.
Wing Commander.
It's from the 2000s.
I don't care. You should watch Wing Commander.
No, wait, hang on. Oh, shit, that is from the 90s. The trailer for The Phantom Menace was on in front of that, and that came out in 99. Damn it.
Here he is pulling up his notes app to add that.
Yep. So anyway,
Perfect.
Aside from that, I watched Terminator Zero, which was a Netflix anime Terminator series with 8 episodes by Studio IG Productions, ones who made the Street Fighter II animated movie back in the 90s, but I think also make the Castlevania series, I think, on Netflix. So the animation was really good.
Yeah.
The voice acting was pretty good.
Did they get Arnold?
No, Timothy Olyphant is the Terminator. So,
ooh, really?
Unfortunately, he's criminally underused.
He is.
He's like, it's only like the last episode that he really talks a lot.
Oh, you meant in the series? I meant in general.
Well, yeah. I've liked him ever since Scream 2. But so he's the Terminator. A couple of other voices sounded familiar, but I haven't looked up the cast. Except I believe Rosario Dawson is the other AI.
You mean not Skynet?
Not Skynet.
You mean not Skynet?
Not Skynet. So this show definitely like took some ideas. I've been like, hey, this is what the Terminator franchise needs to do, and just like ran with it. Like it totally embraces the alternate timeline concept to the point that there's a woman who's going to have to go back in time because Skynet sent a Terminator back in time. And there's an old woman in the future telling her, she literally asks, like, what do you think happens whenever you go back in time? And she's like, well, I go into the past to try to change things. And she's like, so you think you can actually affect the present day here? She's like, yeah. He goes, like, no, you can't. Like, why on earth do you think you can? Like, nothing can change this. You can't change the past. All you're doing is creating a different timeline where anything could happen. She's like, that's what Skynet doesn't understand. That's why Skynet's stupid. Skynet keeps thinking it can change its own fate, and it can't. Because everything that's already happened has happened. You can't change the past. And she tells her point blank, what's going to happen is you're going back to a past, and then you're taking off on some other adventure. And she's like, so then why the hell am I going? I can't save anybody here. And she's like, well, whenever you figure that out, you'll have one up on the machines. Because they can't figure it out. So yeah, totally embraces that idea. To the point of, there are multiple people from the future, from different timelines, in the past, at this point. So, yeah.
It embraces the concept of, you're in the past, but it's not your past.
Correct.
Well, it is your past, but you're not making your future better.
No, the future is your past.
Ooh.
Okay? You can't change your past.
Okay.
It creates a paradox.
Yeah.
You know? So, like, some minor spoilers here. One of the characters goes back to the 80s. Oh, yeah, by the way, almost all of this takes place on, like, August 29th, 1997. So, which is why Netflix released it on August 29th. Yeah. Owen, you haven't seen Terminator 2, so you don't know the significance of that date, do you?
That's Judgment Day.
Yes. So, there's a guy in Japan. This all takes place in Japan, by the way. Totally divorced from, like, the whole, hey, we got to stop John Connor and Sarah Connor baloney happening in L.A.
Thank goodness.
So, it takes place in Japan. And there's a guy who's designed an AI because he keeps having nightmares about the future. He knows it's coming. And so he designs an AI to fight Skynet. But he's not 100% certain it's going to because it has free will. And so he hasn't plugged it in because he's like, well, Skynet concluded that humanity had to go. This thing's going to have all the same information. What if it makes the same choice? Or what if it decides to fight Skynet, but only for its own benefit? In which case humans are still stuck in the middle, you know? And so, like, the whole time I'm watching the show, it just never clicked. How does this guy know all this is going to happen? From the future, of course. Like, it didn't dawn on me because he's, like, got a family and kids and everything, and, someone from the future wouldn't do that. Like, they know what's coming. That's terrible. But, like you said, he didn't count on falling in love, so. Yeah. So, he's from the future. He's from like 2032 or 2038 or something, okay? So he goes back to the 80s with a reprogrammed Terminator that he has made to understand the value of human life and everything. And so he's based the AI on her. But he has to use the chip in her head to turn the AI on, essentially. Whenever he does that, she loses all her memories. And so she becomes like his housekeeper. And he has the kids, and the wife gets killed. And he's very distant. The kids don't understand why they don't want him having like robot toys in the house because he knows he can't trust the goddamn robots. And so then Skynet sends the Terminator back in time to stop him from turning on the other AI. So the Resistance sends someone back in time to stop the Terminator. But of course, the two of them find themselves in Japan, where there's a distinct lack of
Guns.
Yes. So, like, the most the Resistance fighter has through most of the show is, like, a 6-shooter that she has to keep, like, getting more bullets from the cops, because the cops only carry, like, 6 bullets. And the Terminator, like, opens up the underside of his arm and builds a crossbow into it.
Have they not seen any, like, Yakuza movies or anything?
Where do you get a katana?
No, you get a sashimi knife.
Well, anyway. So yeah, so that's all going on, and then the AI, like he literally has hours, minutes, because it comes down to the moment where the AI is finally like, well, you're right, Skynet launched the nukes, everything you said that was going to happen is about to happen, so like, turn me on or die, or turn me on and you might still die. So he turns it on, and it commandeers more nukes to stop the nukes that are incoming. So it stops the nuclear assault. But then it's like, Skynet might have overreacted. But that doesn't necessarily make it my enemy. Just your enemy. And the guy's like, oh, Christ. So... so it takes over Japan. And he has to convince it to join their side, essentially.
Yeah.
And then the Terminator is trying to destroy it, because the guy, knowing that he couldn't necessarily trust it, built a massive electromagnetic pulse weapon into the building. And so the Terminator is trying to turn it back on. But he can't self-terminate because it's going to fry him too. So one of the kids, this is where Timothy Olyphant finally has some lines. He's like, he drags him down there and he's like, well, why didn't you kill me? He's like, because I need you. And he's like, what do you mean? He goes, well, I can't turn this thing on. You can. You hate all of us machines. Like, you're the one that sent me back in time to destroy this thing. And the kid's like, what? He's like, look, you've got two choices. Either I'm lying, or you can believe me. But either way, you hate this machine and you hate me, so, what do you got to lose? But the problem is, I'm like, well, wait a minute. Was he lying or not? Did the kid send him back? Like, what the hell? Where did this come from? Thank you, anime, for your constant screwball endings that make no sense.
Season 2.
Oh, it definitely ends with there could be season 2. Yeah. Because there's one hell of a curveball after that. I'll tell you.
Don't.
Yeah, but so anyway.
Well, not right now while we're still recording.
Oh no, these people already know. Actually, no, I didn't put it in my review. No, I said I wasn't going to say it, so no. Anyway, so it's good. Animation's great. Storyline's good. It's pretty fast paced. Still, like, there's parts of it I've really got to think through because the main Resistance fighter woman comes from like 2022, and I'm pretty damn sure that Kyle Reese came from 2029, which means she's from a future that's like the effects of all the other time travel are compounding, and Skynet gets to the hey, I've got to go back in time much sooner in her timeline because the way they're like, they literally say Skynet's sending another Terminator back in time. They're trying it again. So the Resistance already knows that they've tried it, and that this is another attempt in 2022, 7 years before the main. So their timeline has to be the result of like all the movies occurring and then some.
And then, like, Skynet deciding, hey, I'm just going to send back formula for the time travel and get this going earlier.
Something, yeah. So that part, that was a weird part. So, but anyway, good show.
Yeah.
So the only thing I've been doing on streaming, started watching Fear the Walking Dead. I'm just about done with season 3. Because they finally brought it to Netflix. Because I missed the first parts of it when it was on AMC, and I wasn't going to try to follow 2 shows. And I was like, well, the one's on Netflix. They'll bring this one over eventually. Now, like 10 years later, they finally did. So.
Yep.
Was it worth the wait?
It's been good so far. For the most part. There have definitely been characters who have had the idiot ball firmly lodged in their cranium where their brain should be. Like, repeatedly. That does seem to be the only way the plot keeps moving forward occasionally.
You'll have that.
And it's just like, really? Like, didn't you learn anything from the last time you tried something stupid like this? How are you still alive? And then there's other characters that I'm just like, how does anyone trust you? You've double-crossed everyone here. Yet somehow someone does. And then there's the other guy, like, has threatened to kill basically everyone at this point, but they keep trusting him. I'm like, someone just put a bullet in this guy. Which I know you're not going to, because I saw the final season and I know he's still alive there. So. And it's not that he's a bad character, it's just like, logically, I would have shot this man by now. Like, because he's clearly a threat. Literally the drop of the hat. You know what I used to do in El Salvador? I tortured people for a living. I think you're lying to me. Guess what's about to happen? And I'm just like, someone just shoot him. Like, I don't know that he's actually meaningfully contributing to the group. He's mainly just threatening people. In the group. Like, not the outside people who are threatening the group. I'm just like, what is going on here? However, I will say a few things. It is a show that does things like diversity in the way we keep talking about it. We're like, it just kind of happens.
Nice.
It's white people, black people, Hispanic people, Native people. It's all the people you'd expect to find in the Southwest United States and Northern Mexico. They're all just expected to be there, so they're there. Aside from the Native folks who are trying to retake some land that the white folks, I don't know the full story. Sounds like the court says they bought it fair and square from the other guy's grandparents, but who knows? He seems pretty hell-bent on it. Doesn't matter anyway. Almost everyone died in the end anyway. But, yeah, they all fight over this land for the whole season, then a horde goes through and wipes almost everyone out. Pretty is like, that's about right.
Yeah.
So anyway, other than that, there hasn't been any like racial tension, and like, yeah, we're just kind of there. And if the few people that get it are like, look, guys, we got to put all that crap aside. Like, there are two sides, the living and the dead. We're all among the living, so our differences don't matter anymore. Like, they don't have any differences among them. They all want to eat us.
Yep.
So, and then one of the characters was gay, and like nobody made a big deal about it. I shouldn't have been surprised because I knew the actor was, but I've only seen parts of the show, so I didn't know because it's only like 2 or 3 episodes you see it, where he meets up with his. I don't know if they're married. I think it was just a boyfriend, but but he had been bitten, so he didn't last very long. But yeah. So my point is, it did diversity right.
That's good.
Where no one's making a big deal about it. It's just there, and it feels natural. So, yeah. Yeah, that guy, Coleman Domingo is the name of the actor. It's the main thing I've seen him in, but he would definitely do a good job as some kind of Marvel villain, I think. Just don't know who. I had to think on that part for a while.
Is it sad that the name that popped into my mind was the Mad Hatter, and then it's like, nope, that's DC.
Yeah, he would not be a good Mad Hatter. No, it doesn't need to be crazy. It needs to be intimidating. He's got a kind of unique voice.
Dang.
He's not big enough for Bane.
He can get bulked out.
Yeah, the guy's in like his 50s probably. Like, he's not bulking out.
He can get bulked out.
He doesn't have the Hugh Jackman routine.
Oh.
This dude has like a scary voice.
Unique voice. Like
Unique voice,
def like a
Marvel. Juggernaut?
No. Juggernaut doesn't have a unique voice. Juggernaut's just big and dumb.
Mephisto.
Maybe.
Intimidating, unique voice.
Maybe.
Azrael?
Batman villain?
No. The one that they theorized was Nightcrawler's dad there for a while?
Azazel?
Yeah, Azazel, that one.
No, I don't know. No. I don't know. If you're going to play a demon type, I suppose there's always Belasco.
I was just throwing out names.
But anyway.
I don't know where this is going.
Anyway, I'm just saying, like, I think he'd be a good villain. I had to think on who he'd be a good villain for, as far as, like, who'd be good to play. But that's about all I've been doing on streaming lately. So, YouTube, huh?
Yeah.
Anything in particular, other than our channel, I hope?
What? Our channel? We actually watch our own No.
I do. That's how our look has improved over the last 2 years.
No, I haven't been watching anything, like, noteworthy.
Alright. Jed?
Crafting videos?
Are you in the middle of making some of your own?
Kinda, yeah, I am.
I hope so.
With having picked up Arena Rex at Gen Con, sort of a gladiatorial arena combat game, and you sort of need something for that.
Gladiators.
Yep, that's what you need. So I've been designing an arena. I'm working on it still. It's not easy to work on it and make sure you're getting the polarity of magnets correct when you have a migraine.
Yeah.
Because I was talking about it the other day, and I'm like, I gotta double count my tiles. I don't know if I got 18 1 foot by 1 foot tiles out of 3 1 foot by roughly 6 foot long pieces of foam. Did I somehow end up with 20 of them? I double counted. There's 18 of them. But this also made me realize I needed to number everything I can number out and count the 3x3 that it's going to normally be, and then go with the biggest possible arrangement, which right now is a 3x5. So 3 foot by 5 foot. And count number it all out to find out how many tiles I actually need. 17, by the way.
Yeah.
Because I can reuse 7 from the 3x3. I can use all but 2 of the middle side pieces. I call them directional pieces because on my paper it's literally like it's drawn out like north, south, east, west.
Yeah.
And so I can use all but 2 of those and just move the 2 now ends farther apart, put new sides on that are straight, not curved, and then I just need 2 new center pieces.
Okay. So the main question that I had was like, you getting all this construction in like video form?
Nope. Kind of hard to do construction on foam with a knife in one hand, needing to steady something in the other hand, having a ruler that you're checking with,
No. What I mean
glue, magnets, and all this,
Chad,
and then hold the phone to record at the same time.
You're overcomplicating it. You do
right. I need a GoPro.
You do a certain amount of it, then you video what you've done and talk about it. You do some more.
See, I was just gonna do a hey, here's I got at the end of it all.
Oh no! You got to document the process.
No.
It's like coding. You got to put descriptions in there. Or you could take the advice that this girl's short that I saw. You want job security? Don't put anything in there, because then no one else will know what the hell you did in the code. They'll have to come back to you to fix it.
Yep.
You should not take that advice, by the way. I watched the rest of her channel like it was all just like horrible advice. Like it's intentionally bad. I got
3 tiles left to magnetize.
That's what I'm saying. Like, do like a, hey, here's what I'm about to do. Talk through it. Then do it. And then, or take pictures and do a voiceover later or something. I'm telling you, you're going to wish you would have documented it. I'm going to wish you would have documented it so we'd have some more stuff for the channel.
See, I have a feeling this thing will be the only thing I make, so.
But it could be.
No.
You could be like Furiosa and lose your left arm.
Well, then I got bigger things to worry about.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're not going to be able to find a cool mechanical arm like she did.
I know.
Even though she somehow is like in the wasteland and came up with a much better prosthetic arm. But anyway.
Also, work at that point.
Yeah, but if you come with a cool prosthetic arm like hers, you'll be fine. Because you can punch with it. It's made of metal.
So why am I going to get a job doing?
Security guard. Like a guard like you are right now.
I don't think they're going to allow that at work.
Why not? That's you.
But how securely? Is it as securely as, my actual arm?
Like, it was pretty secure to her. Like, the only thing that finally tore hers off was trying to hold Max out the side window of a moving vehicle after being shot and stabbed. Like, it was a pretty extreme situation that finally had to unbuckle her thing. Just saying. And she still killed Immortan Joe after that.
But, I got 3 pieces of foam left to magnetize, and then I can set it all up, the main 9 pieces, to get the circle drawn out onto it. Which, did you know they make tape measures, where it'll actually hold a pin on one end, you can actually stick, has a needle type thing, to where you can actually hold it in one spot and circle around it to draw out a circle.
Like a compass?
Yes.
Did you know they make a thing called a compass for that?
Do they have a 3-foot compass? 18-inch compass.
Don't need one. You need an 18-inch piece of string. 2 nails.
Yeah, well, I have this tape measure now.
Well, I just told you how to do it for like $2, but I'm sure that tape measure costs you more than that.
Slightly.
Yeah.
But I have a really cool tape measure now.
I know, but I know for a fact I told you how to do this cheaper when you first mentioned this problem.
So I have one of those to use. I didn't trust myself to keep the string at the right tautness and all that crap. Tape measure locks in place. Don't gotta worry about it.
Just tie a knot on both nails and drive one in, and like all you just pull, keep the nails straight up and down.
I want a circle, not an oval. Oval's what the extra piece is for.
You just said you want a circle, not an oval.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I don't trust myself to be able to keep that string as taut here as over here.
you know.
So I got the way that takes me out of the equation as much as possible.
You take the piece, you put it like this up against the wall. I got the solution to all your problems, Chad. You just got to talk to
That
me.
don't work. And I need it's a 3x3 grid. 3 1 foot by 1 foot squares held together by magnets.
Yeah, you cut the circle and you cut it up into your squares.
I don't see what
No.
this has to do with streaming.
No. And that's because it's what videos I've been watching is working with foam and how to make bleachers. Yes, that random one bit earlier in the video is actually not so random.
So anyway, it sounds like we won't be streaming Chad making this thing.
What?
I'm just saying.
They can give photos when it's done and marvel in the beauty. That's taken longer than I thought it would.
Chad, you got to document the process.
This is why I don't document the process. It turns into a time crunch. I like to be able to go like a week without working on it.
That's fine. I don't care if I get the video this time next year.
Well, it should be done by the end of the year.
Well, that's good, but I'm just saying, like, there was no time crunch.
My garage gets a little cool in the winter, so it needs to be done before winter. Also, have a timeline because I need to get the garage cleaned up.
All right. So, to Owen's point, we should get back to streaming, because there is one last topic to cover in the streaming front that I mentioned way back at the beginning of this ramble session.
What's that?
The Acolyte.
Oh, I thought we were going back to the Rings of Power.
No. No, God, no. So, the Acolyte. I've actually done a couple videos about the Acolyte since it ended. I did one where I was like, well, it's enough time's passed. I said I was going to do my final thoughts and reflect on it, so I did. It's about a 40-minute long video. Talked about things like what they could have done, what went wrong, what didn't go wrong. That was a very short segment. Why it got canceled. Not enough people watch it. It cost $180 million, and I'm pretty sure that's all been embezzled somewhere because it's definitely not on screen. Yeah, I thought, all right, it's done. They announced it was canceled. It's over with. Oh, how wrong I was.
Oh,
Yeah, you see, there's presently a petition going around. By going around, I mean it's one place online. To not cancel the second season of The Acolyte. And when it was really obvious that this petition was not gaining traction, when the folks who actually released the video saying, we're the majority of the fan base, listen to us, which they then apparently had to take down because it wasn't diverse enough, which is hilarious, but so anyway, because most of the shills are, white dudes. And so then the next phase of the plan was, this is all the fault of those evil right-wingers on YouTube. And by right-wingers, we mean everyone who didn't like the show. So like Geeks and Gamers and Nerdrotic and, a bunch of channels like that. So these people collectively sent a letter to YouTube asking for these channels to be permanently demonetized. And they're like, we're not asking you to take down the videos. We're not against free speech. We just want them demonetized permanently. So in other words, this isn't the targeted harassment campaign, but it totally is a targeted harassment campaign. And YouTube didn't respond. Well, they said, we'll look into it. And then they basically admitted to coordinating attacks on these channels, mass reporting videos and things, which is against the YouTube terms of service. And then they're like, "So, YouTube, like, what you doing?" They're like, "Well, we looked into it. They didn't violate the terms of service. We're not taking anything down." And they're like, "Oh, well then." So, yeah, apparently they've just like gone completely spastic, and they're firing things up all over Twitter and this, that, and the other, and they are just going completely bananas. And I strongly suspect it's because they realize that the old gravy train with biscuit wheels is about to fall off the tracks.
Oh.
Well, see, a lot of people say, "Oh, we're not paid Disney shills." And it's like, well, no, Disney isn't paying you money, but they're flying you to California to meet all the people that make the damn show and giving you a bunch of free crap and all things, and getting your picture taken with Leslie Headland, Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant, in case you don't know that, which means she knew everything that was happening and should never work on anything ever again because she's a terrible human being. But, yeah, so all these things, I kind of count that as being paid, personally. You're being compensated, even if it's not cash. So they are for sure paid shills. Well, if you're shilling for Disney and it becomes really clear that you actually don't have any reach, Disney going to keep paying you?
Yes.
Pretty sure the answer to that question is no. Like, why would they? I mean, these people are going to shill for free, probably. So, why would you keep paying them? And I think they're smart enough to recognize that, because they realize, like, that's the real threat here, because they realize that, like, the other people actually do have the larger audience. And so, but here's the real funny, the ironic part. Almost all those people I mentioned, well, the two people I mentioned and several of the others, actually signed the petition to get season 2. Because they're making money criticizing the show. They want more material.
Yeah.
There's some of the few people who actually watched the show. That's the other ironic part. The people who hate the show were the ones watching it.
Where they'd have content.
Right. Like, the number of actual fans watching it was abysmal. I didn't hate watch it. I actually genuinely hoped it got better. It kind of did, but not to the point of I'd say it was good. Like, it should be canceled as a bad show. But, hashtag bring back the Acolyte. I need more material. The damage is already done. You may as well keep going. May as well see the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise play out.
Bobbie,
he's in the final episode.
Have you ever heard of the sunk cost fallacy?
Yes, I have. That's one of the reasons I'm really surprised Disney publicly announced they canceled this, because the amount of money they put into it and everything, and the fact that, like, this was like the pinnacle, like, this is everything we stand for. This is empowered women. This is people of color. There's no white person in the whole damn show, kind of thing. There are, but there's not very many. No one in a prominent role. And, we've got an LGBTQ person as, this one green Jedi over here in the worst acting I've seen in quite a while. She's Leslie Headland's significant other. I don't know if it's a girlfriend or a wife. I'm not trying to, belittle their relationship. I don't know what it is. But yeah, it's just bad acting, bad writing. The best acting was from the guy that learned English for the role.
Who's that?
Squid Game.
Wait, which guy?
I don't know his real name. It's the main guy from Squid Games.
Which character?
He is... Are we talking in the Acolyte or Squid Game?
Acolyte.
He's the main Jedi.
Okay.
I apologize. I don't know his name. I've just been calling him Squid Game this whole time.
Most people have.
Then there's the guy whose name I do kind of know, Manny Jacinto, who plays old Smilo Ren. He was actually a decent actor too. And, for the ladies, he's pretty cut. But, yeah, that was part of his lure Osha to the dark side. Part of it was like, hey, check me out, emerging from this pool of water. And let's not think about the implication that Darth Plagueis is in that crag of rocks right back there, probably also watching. Yeah, like, Darth Plagueis is in the movie, like, in the show, like, the last, 20 minutes of it. He just, peeks out from behind a rock, and you're like, what is that? What is happening here?
Here I was hoping it was going to be Darth Bane.
And then,
what is he doing?
It's too late in the series. It's too late in the timeline for Bane. Then you get the last-second cameo from Yoda, who does nothing. It's just the back of him.
Does he have hair?
Yes. And then you get Ki-Adi-Mundi, who they had to change his official birth date to make it so he could actually be alive at this point in time, because he's not even supposed to have been born yet. But here he is, in the middle of all this. You know, the guy in the Phantom Menace who says the Sith have been extinct for 1,000 years? That guy, in the middle of this plot involving the Sith.
I don't think his race lives that long.
Apparently they do live long enough. It was just a matter of, like, his official birth date was, like, well after this. Meanwhile...
Yaddle? Did we get Yaddle?
Not Yaddle. Plo Koon. His race does live long enough. There's one of his race who all look alike, so it could have just been Plo Koon, who is old enough per canon to have been here. They're like emphatically, no, that's not Plo Koon. And it's just like, what are you doing?
That would have been perfect.
It's like, what are you doing? Like, you put him right there. Like, you did that. None of us, like, forced you to put one of his race in there, but you chose to. But that's not Plo Koon. That is totally Ki-Adi-Mundi over there, despite what his official birthday is, which we now went to Wikipedia and changed. And it's just like, what is happening here? You know? And whenever you get dumb decisions like that, it's all going to fall apart after that. So yeah. Yeah, whenever several of the Jedi get killed, I was rooting for the Sith guy. Most of them deserve to die.
You usually vote for the Sith guy.
Yeah, but here, like, I really meant it. Like, in the original trilogy, like, I do really, you know, like, I am like, Luke should win this. You know, he is the good guy. The Emperor is kind of an asshole. You know. But, like, here it was like, no, they all suck. Except for Squid Game. And I know he's not going to die here. It's not the season finale yet. So, like, I really feel sorry for him. Like, learned English. Stuck with that.
Yeah, but let's face it. If you had been offered a role in The Acolyte, would you have refused it?
Chad, I think I've told you before. If they came to me and said, we're going to make a shot-for-shot remake of The Phantom Menace, and we want you to be Jar Jar Binks with the same exact dialogue, sign my ass up. Because no matter what, at the end of the day, I'll be in a damn Star Wars movie.
Mm-hmm.
Or would you be in The Acolyte?
Well, like, I'd probably still say yes. I'm not going to lie. But it's going to be one of those, like, I'll only tell certain people. I wouldn't champion it like I would if I was in The Phantom Menace.
Oh, yeah, because people actually like The Phantom Menace now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I went to go rewatch it in the theater 6 months or 4 months ago.
Here's the ultimate test for The Acolyte. Does it make Attack of the Clones look good?
I don't know. I still haven't rewatched it in like 20 years. Last time I watched it completely was when it was in theaters. Then the first run. Look. There's a difference between how I feel about that and The Last Jedi. I hate The Last Jedi. I'm indifferent towards Attack of the Clones. It's just not spectacular.
Does it make The Last Jedi look good?
No.
Attack of the Clones had some good in it.
Yeah, the clones.
Like Vader. There's still some good in him. I can feel it.
I mean,
No, I don't even know what my problem with Attack of the Clones is. That's the bad part. I think it's just that, like, to my mind, it's seemingly nothing happens. And yet I know things happen. Like, I know obviously the war starts and everything. But it's like, okay, first you have just that entire stupid sequence with, so Count Dooku is going to pay a guy, Jango Fett, who's going to pay a shapeshifter, who's going to send a robot that's going to deploy some bugs to kill Padme, instead of just, like, firing his jetpack missile into her apartment, you know, or just, like, shooting the place up with the Slave One or something. Like, this ridiculous chain of events that somehow still gets traced back to Count Dooku.
I don't think it was a Django got paid to go do that. He did to destroy, to, like, try to kill her at the start of the movie.
Yeah, he was being paid because, remember, Newt Gunray wanted her dead, and that was a condition of him joining.
I think after that it was an open contract.
No, he hired Sam Wessel.
Look, I've never played the game, so I don't know.
It's in the movie. That's how I know this. It's in the movie.
Okay,
Does Jango Fett hire Zam Wessel?
It's been a while.
Trust me. Go home and rewatch it. Tell me all about it.
Why don't you rewatch?
Why don't we?
Because I'm convinced. You're the one that needs to be convinced.
Why don't we all rewatch it?
We should. We should figure. We need to figure out when we can do that to watch some movies and like record our reactions and stuff. But yeah, so you've got that part. You've got. I know Anakin is in that phase where he is like the arrogant hothead, but like that gets kind of annoying.
You find out why Tatooine's the best place to hide Luke.
Yeah, I mean, like some of the parts of Anakin are good. Then you have the sand, and like the meme value in that is great. That justifies the entire existence of the movie. But like in the movie, that's terrible dialogue.
Yep.
And the whole like that scene where they're riding around the giant things where he's kind of bouncing around, you can tell there's literally nothing there. It's all green screen.
Yep.
It's just not good looking. You've got those.
Those, I believe, are nerfs, by the way.
That would make sense. It's nerf or nothing.
Nerf
I know
herder.
it's a nerf herder. I know. You've got that. You've got just everything is drawn out with the arena and all that crap. Like it just feels like things are happening, but not. And then you finally get to the war, and then the movie just stops.
And then when the next movie starts, the war's ending.
Yes. Now, I take that out on Attack of the Clones, even though Revenge of the Sith also bears some responsibility there. But, like, Revenge of the Sith, like, the rest of the movie's great, so I don't care.
But if the movies weren't set up like that, we wouldn't have gotten both Clone Wars series.
It's true.
Well, I have argued since the movies came out that George Lucas should have in fact made a trilogy of movies between 2 and 3 about the Clone Wars. Each one, like, have one of them basically just be an adaptation of the novel Shatterpoint. Follow Mace Windu into Star Wars Space Vietnam. You know, that book was excellent, just do that. Have one of them about, Ki-Adi Mundi, if you can somehow make a whole plot around him. Have each of them be about some of the other Jedi. So that we get to know them, we flesh out their characters, we get to know some of the clones, we get to see some of the intricacies of how both the armies work. Most important of all, we don't just completely ignore the fact we have one of the greatest living actors ever in our movies that we're just going to have in the last 10 minutes of one and the first 10 minutes of the other one and then kill him. That'd be Christopher Lee.
Yeah.
And because he was criminally underused.
He was.
Have Visage Ventress in live action. Have more of the Emperor.
Let us get emotionally attached to the Jedi.
Yeah,
Plo Koon.
Have a throwaway line about. Actually, this had to be before the Clone Wars. Have a throwaway line about the outbound flight. You know what I'm talking about there? The Zahn books.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'd have all that stuff, and then whenever Order 66 hits, you're like, oh my god, Plo Koon just died, and not, forehead guy got killed. He really shouldn't have gotten in front of his troops like that. How do you not see that coming?
Ki-Adi Mundi's the forehead guy. Plo Koon's the masked guy and the fighter.
Fine. But Plo Koon also, Plo Koon, why'd you get in front of your? Why did all of you get in front of your troops?
We could have gotten attached to Kit Fisto.
Yeah.
Tendril head guy who gets killed by Palpatine.
Yeah. There you go. Just make each one about the people that went up and just get murdered by Palpatine right there. Like, oh man, that guy just went down like a chump. Like, oh, is it Kit Fisto who like kind of put up a fight for like one block, or was that Aegon Kolar? I think it's Kit
Fisto.
Yeah.
The horn guy's the one that dies immediately.
Yeah, him and is it Sacy-10? I think are the two that just get it right off the bat.
Yeah.
Those are all named Jedi now.
Yeah.
What about the one with the headdress, like Soka's race, who's died 3 different ways?
I was going to say, so we can determine which way she actually dies.
Yes. Does she get killed by Grievous on the invisible hand?
That's a deleted scene. I prefer The Force Unleashed.
Oh yeah, that's much better.
Yeah, it's either Grievous on the invisible hand, killed by Anakin during Order 66, or killed by Galen Merrick.
Starkiller.
Yeah.
on Felucia.
But yeah, do that to flesh out everything. You could still do it now. I mean, aside from Mace Windu, most of those Jedi are in makeup, and Samuel L. Jackson looks close enough still.
And he'd be way willing to do it.
I'm sure we could de-age him just a little bit. I mean, it's obviously going to be stunt work for a lot of stuff, but all right. But now we have the added benefit of have one of them be about Anakin and Ahsoka. Actually, reverse engineer her in, and then, make a couple scenes in Revenge of the Sith where he and Obi-Wan are talking about her, because that's after she left the Order.
Yeah.
So that now it all fits together.
Yeah.
It could easily be done. And that's why Disney is run by incompetent morons. They have Darth Vader, easily the most popular character. He's the most popular villain in cinema. He always wins that he is number one.
Yeah.
Hands down, bar none. We have the goodwill built up around Hayden Christensen now.
Yeah.
Everyone likes him. They like him as Anakin. They like him as Vader. James Earl Jones has signed off on his voice being used in perpetuity by Disney. Where the hell's the Darth Vader movie?
I'd take a Darth Vader movie.
Just literally take the book, The Rise of Darth Vader, make that into a movie. It still could easily fit in the canon. There's nothing in it that violates the new canon. And just go with it. Where is that movie? Why do we have Ben and Poe and Rey, fine characters in their own right, but they were not ready for prime time?
No.
Where is that? That's how you know these people just do not have any clue what they're doing. You hand me the Star Wars property, we're making some Darth Vader movies. They were making some movies about the Empire. They were making some movies about the Rebellion. Because I know which part of the franchise sells. Then I'm going to find someone that's as emphatic about Knights of the Old Republic as I am to get to direct those movies, and then they're going to get made.
While you're doing that, I'll find someone to make war movies set during the Clone Wars. So it'd be real easy to do. I just, need Tamora Morrison to sign off on using his likeness and voice in
perpetuity.
Yeah, in perpetuity for, the movies.
Yeah.
And
make some actual armor for the clones so we can actually have them in live action, not just sketchy CGI. Yeah.
Yep.
Which brings us back around to Attack the Clones.
Yeah.
I mean,
the army that feels like it's not there versus the army of droids that isn't there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are some good parts about Attack the Clones. I mean,
yeah. I'm not saying. Look,
I like Camino.
It's better than the Disney sequel trilogy, for sure. It's better than the Acolyte. Better than season 3 of The Mandalorian, probably. Maybe better than Ahsoka and Obi-Wan. But compared to the other 6 movies in the Lucas canon, I think it's the weak link.
5 movies.
Yeah, the 6 in total, not the other 6, is what I should have said. Where did the 5? Yes. Although I think technically isn't there a Clone Wars animated movie?
We don't talk about that one.
I think that's the only one I didn't go watch in theaters.
Oh no.
We don't talk about that one. The only thing that one gave us that was any good was Ahsoka, who, once the TV series hit, actually became a likable character.
Yeah.
Oh, I watched the Clone Wars animated movie once.
Because there's something very important for the plot of that movie
Jabba's
that has never been addressed by any other media since.
Jabba's offspring?
Yes. What happened to him? It
never gets brought up again?
I assume it's a pending show from Disney somewhere down the road.
Look.
I mean, the Clone Wars, I mean, that's not the only... You got Jabba's uncle...
Yeah. Where is Rhoda in everything else? Where was Rhoda in The Mandalorian? And the Book of Boba Fett?
I was going to say the Book of Boba Fett.
We should have got Book of Boba Fett Season 2.
I don't think we're getting that either from what Tamura Morrison has said. So
Man,
I think he wants a season 2, like to kind of correct some things, but it'll just be half. It'll just be the Mandalorian season 3.5 though.
If we were going to get an honest Book of Boba Fett season 2, we would just
bring back Danny Trejo's character.
Trump's starting to eat a lot and going out of shape.
Show Boba Fett being Boba Fett again.
Yeah, riding a Vespa. No. Although the street gangs got to harden up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That show just kind of went wrong.
It did.
Like, I think the big problem was, let's make him a good guy. And I'm like, why? Like, he was a total bastard. Like, he's not going to have a change of heart.
He was little. I mean, if he's the... They try to make him like a clean-cut good guy, not even like a anti-hero.
He's just a man trying to make his way in the universe. Whatever the hell he said. I think it's Django that said that. But...
Yep.
Yeah, no, he should have been all like, I'm just going to go kill Bib Fortuna, and it is Bib Fortuna, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
How did he survive the sail barge being destroyed? He was on it.
Luck.
Like, he didn't dive off, and if he did, he likely would have fallen into the Sarlacc pit.
No, the sail barge wasn't over the Sarlacc pit. It was next to it.
Close enough.
If he jumped off the side away from the Sarlacc pit...
Yeah.
There was a gradual slope.
Yeah, but still, like, they're out in the middle of the desert and everything, and like,
there's more than one other skiff out there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but like, I want to see the book of Bib Fortuna so we figure out how he survived.
And kept control.
And then became fat. And have it just end with Boba Fett walking in and shooting him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they shouldn't have tried to rehabilitate his image. Like, make him still hard edge. Like, he can be like, all right, fine. I'm not going to kill everyone here. I'll just rule over everybody. Like, whatever, sure. Then old Mando comes wanting help or something. Like, yeah, I'm a Mandalorian, I guess, so I'll help you, I guess.
Also, credits. Like,
yeah.
Money speaks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is that all for streaming?
I think so. Yeah, so keep an eye out for more insanity, because I don't think the Acolyte fans are going to let that go. Oh, I did actually get a response to my last video about the Acolyte, because I keep saying, that actually likes the show, tell me why.
Yeah.
And it's a very lengthy response.
Oh.
Was it that the Sith, the dark side guy's hot?
No, it had. I don't want to mischaracterize it, but it sounded like, because I need to read it again before I respond, because there was some thought put into it, and I don't want to belittle it or mischaracterize it. Sounded like what he got from it was that it was an attempt to show the Jedi as samurai, but like not the idealized version, like the real version. The arrogant assholes in charge of everything. With that whole like, hey, we're coming to take your kid because they got force powers.
Yeah.
And like, your rights be damned. So I don't know if that was the intent, because again, this is Harvey Weinstein's assistant, who I don't think can write her way out of a paper bag, who specifically said that the show is a combination of Kill Bill and Frozen. And I don't get like samurai from that. I get like someone who doesn't understand that certain things just don't go together. That's like
Kill Bill in Disney movies?
Yeah, it's like a sandwich made of like, peanut butter and like cobalt or something.
Peanut butter and bologna?
Sure. Yeah.
Why would you mix those two?
I don't know. But yeah, so I think it was more that the people making it had no idea what they were doing. Or were trying to make something that just can't exist in nature, like a certain volume of uranium or something. You know? It can't. It eventually reaches supercritical mass and you don't want to be anywhere near it.
Yeah.
You want to be like miles and miles away, in fact. But anyway, so yeah, that's what I gathered from it. Some other things, I don't know if I agree with them. You seem to think that people who people are trying to shape others' opinions of it, both to the positive and the negative. And I don't think either group has the actual pull to do that is the problem, as demonstrated by the fact that not enough people actually watch the show. Because I know the side that hates it doesn't have that much pull, because all the other products keep having people watching them. But I also know the other side doesn't have enough pull, because nobody watched the one they really promoted. So I think neither side actually has pull here. And just people have their opinions already, and they just go into the camp that they think affirms their opinion. Or intentionally go to the camp that is counter to it to get pissed off and write at them or something. Or actually be intellectually honest and try to see what the other side has to say. But that's like a 1 in a million shot. So anyway, lengthy response, I do appreciate it. I'm going to respond to it eventually. Like, next couple of days once I, really read through it and make sure I'm not misunderstanding him and, want to be clear that, like, what I'm telling him is my opinion and not like, oh, you're wrong. Like, no. I asked people to respond that actually liked it. I was curious. I'm glad he did. So I'm not going to be like, well, that's great, but, your opinion sucks. Like, that'd be very crappy of me, and I don't intend on doing that, so.
It would be crappy.
It would be. Plus, I really don't feel that way. Like, I do mean it. Like, the people that actually did like the show, I do feel bad for them. Because I've had shows I like get canceled.
Terra Nova.
And,
Firefly.
it's no good. So,
especially after most of the shows that last one season and end with, like, really good cliffhangers are always painful to see go.
Like the Silver Surfer cartoon. It ends with Thanos destroying the universe or something. It's been a while since I've seen it.
No, I meant like Firefly or Terra Nova.
Yeah, I never watched Firefly.
There needs to be a list of things you need to watch, Bobbie.
Oh, and you need to watch that too, by the way.
What?
Firefly. Or do you like
and
me?
Terra Nova.
Or do you like me and just watch Serenity?
I've never heard of any of these shows.
You won't understand any of the interpersonal relationships, but it's a decent action movie. So
it is a decent action movie.
What is
Firefly was a show written by Joss Whedon. It was a sci-fi show set in the future, space travel and all that. Set after a civil war, correct? And a lot of some of the characters were on the losing side.
All the main characters were pretty much on the losing side.
Okay, I wasn't 100%.
There were two that actually fought in the Civil War. Mal and his second in command.
Yeah.
The lady.
Yeah.
When it ended, they bought a starship and decided to, not be under anyone's thumb.
Right.
And Mal somehow got together a plucky crew of a weirdly optimistic mechanic that can keep an old ship flying no matter what. Preacher, who, if you actually look into further lore, is like part of the winning side's intelligence agency who retired because he knows a lot that he really shouldn't, just being a preacher. For a companion. It's not clear if it's just like, I'm going to spend some time with you, or like actual, favors for money type thing.
Is that Marina Baccarin's character?
The hot lady?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
To be clear, an accurate description.
A guy who tried robbing him, who simply got hired onto the crew because he was offered his own bunk. Jane, the crew he was with before, he had to share a bunk.
Yeah.
And so, like, he actually was like, we have plenty of room. You can have your own bunk if you join us. And, turn your gun from pointing at me to pointing at them. Jumped right on that.
Sure.
There's a great episode dealing with Jane, so. Mother's milk.
Yeah.
Then a doctor who broke his sister out of government facility where tests were being run, and yeah. Pretty good show.
Yeah,
it's the closest thing you're going to get to Space Western outside Cowboy Bebop.
So, this was aired on Fox. They ran the episodes out of order.
Yep.
They kept running them on nights that there were football games,
I
believe. So they kept having to run them like 3 in the morning instead. And so they canceled after one season. Because they would just, they did everything they could. They were like, yeah, we'll put your show on, like, to destroy it. What was that? I said to enjoy it, And so Fox totally screwed the whole thing. But it had enough of a fan following
that a movie was made.
They were able to convince someone to make a movie to kind of tie up all the plot lines and everything. That's what Serenity is.
Yep.
So,
in the actual Firefly show, there is actually a "We're Robbing a Train" episode. There's the Mother's Milk one, which I think is actually the Rob the Train episode.
Train robbing episode of G.I. Joe the cartoon, where Cobra has to try to steal a bunch of gold bullion from the train. Because they're out of money. Yeah.
Isn't that also the Fort Knox episode?
I don't think so. All I know is I saw a thing the other day explaining why Cobra is like not the people you want in charge of your currency. It just had clips from that episode where they developed the machine to burn up all the money.
There's literally an episode of the show where you get like the backstory for Mal getting the ship.
Yeah.
Which is cut with current time ones where Mal's like bleeding out and the ship's freezing over because it got powered down. It's actually a good show.
Yeah. So anyway, that was Fox is where sci-fi show goes to Sci-fi shows go to die apparently, which is amazing because I don't get it because like the X-Files is on for like 11 seasons or something.
Well, they expected X-Files right away. That's the issue.
I'm just saying, like, the X-Files survived, and Joss Whedon's other shows, even though they weren't on Fox, made it to several seasons. Buffy and Angel. Yeah, I don't know. But then Dollhouse just tanked. It's one with Eliza Dushku. I think that's how you pronounce her last name. Faith.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah. So, and that's what happens on Fox. Sometimes.
And then Terra Nova's a good show you should watch too.
I don't know anything about that.
Humans totally ruin Earth. Like, resources depleted and all, living in domed cities, and let's use this portal we developed, thinking we're going back in time to Earth with dinosaurs, where we can steal those resources. But the portal's one way.
Did they get to the other side and die from too high of oxygen levels?
No, they get to the other side, and after a bit of study of the stars, like them actually predicting where they should be seeing stars, not Earth in the past.
Future.
No, it's just a different planet. With dinosaurs.
So you're saying it's not like... So it's like the reverse of Beast Wars?
Yes.
Where they show up on this planet full of Energon that Megatron knew all about.
Yep.
And, like, you have no reason to suspect it's Earth because there's 3 moons. Well, there's also dinosaurs. And but as the show progresses, they whittle that down to 1, and finally all the characters are like, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah.
This planet's starting to look eerily familiar here.
Literally, here's the arc.
Yeah, then eventually it's, well, yeah, of course it's Earth. That's why we're really here, because we're going to win the war before it ever starts by wiping out the Autobots aboard the Ark. Brilliant plan, by the way.
It was.
Should have worked. Went for those damn Autobots.
No, Maximals.
Oh, that's right. It's the Maximals.
But yeah, pretty good. Had Stephen Lang, the Colonel from Avatar.
Yeah, I know Stephen. Not to be confused with Marvel's Stephen Lang, who built one of the master molds and merged his mind with it, and then eventually became the prototype to be the in-between between the humans and the Phalanx.
Has him, not a bad guy, actually, like, just wants to... He's like the leader of the colony.
Yeah.
And he's like, screw the people on Earth. They're the ones that ruined Earth. Let's just start a new society.
Yeah. All right. Well, I got one more thing here, guys.
Yeah.
It's not in streaming. You got anything else in streaming, Owen? Anything?
No.
Nothing? Okay.
I think we're going to move on to Miss.
Yes, we're in a miscellaneous. This is a philosophical question.
Your list does not say miscellaneous. It says MISC.
It's an abbreviation.
It says MISC. Does it have a period at the end to say it's an abbreviation?
I don't need to have perfect grammar in my list. I'm the only one that's going to read.
No, you're not the only one.
You weren't supposed to read it.
Yeah, see, it's not my fault if you got into the list. Like, that's on you. That's not on me. So anyway, here's a philosophical question for you guys. What, if anything, is the difference between reselling and scalping? Before I continue, Owen, do you know what those terms mean? Obviously, I assume you know what reselling means, but like,
Yeah, and thinking of like the definition in my head, I don't really know.
okay, so I bring this up because one, like I said, I've tried to record a video about this like 4 times. But I've also seen a couple other people brought up some videos here real recently on the action figure front talking about this. And where I'm asking is like, okay, so let's say you go to a convention. They're convention exclusives.
Yeah.
You buy them with the express intent of reselling. Does it become scalping when it crosses a certain number of them? Is it that way if you buy any of them for that amount to do that?
Well,
You have to factor in.
Let's say there's 1,000. Let's say it's a Gen Con. Okay, something those of you who are hopefully still watching know a little bit about because I talk about it a lot here on the channel. 4 days, 1,000 pieces. They give away 250 each day. You buy one to resell. Is that scalping?
no.
Scalping. I was going to say monetary value, but I don't really think that matters.
Let's say, for argument's sake, that like you are going to jack the price up. Like let's say,
Oh yeah, 1,000.
let's say
250 each day. Yeah, you're
Let's-
jacking the price.
yeah, let's say hypothetically it's a $15 piece at, well, I don't know, let's say the WizKids booth that you then turn around and sell for $100. Now you put it open to offers. That's below what the highest one going for is, and others have sold higher. One of them, is that scalping?
That's reselling.
Okay, let's say it's 10 of them.
I think at 10 and higher, that crosses into scalping.
No, I think that's still reselling.
Okay,
Because what's to stop me from being like, what stops someone from doing that with like, not Gen Con, but Iron Wind Metal stuff?
okay,
With the Battletech stuff.
okay,
Being like, I'm going to buy this one mech, like a bunch of them, that's going out of production soon.
okay,
And I'm going to resell them for a little bit of a profit.
okay,
So you have like 100 of them.
okay,
Say they cost $20 from Iron Wind Metals, but you're going to sell them for 30. Maybe 40. Get double the money for it.
okay. You're not selling them on eBay, obviously.
No. And you have 100 of them, that's not scalping.
Okay. Why?
See, I have an issue with the term scalping in the first place.
Okay, well, let's ignore the cultural.
I know the...
Let's ignore the cultural
No,
connotations.
not that.
Okay.
It's that, to me, scalping is you're taking advantage of. There's malicious intent behind it.
Okay.
That scalpers are the people with the ball game tickets at the gate going, selling my tickets because they're sold out and you ain't going to be able to buy any and you were hoping to get in there.
Okay.
Say you buy like 2 of those $15 pieces from Gen Con each day. So you got 8 of them.
Okay.
Or you get 10 of them. You get 20 of them even.
Sure.
It's not necessarily scalping if you're reselling them. Because there's going to be more of them out there. And it's someone who couldn't make it to Gen Con now has a chance to buy it.
Okay.
That's my view.
So, a comment and a question.
Yes.
The comment, because I see people talk about this a lot online. And to be clear, there is just massive brazen ignorance in this topic, where people throw in the term scalper like it's going out of style. Okay? They accuse people that, like, go into Walmart and buy a Lego set that is mass-produced in the hundreds of thousands, if not millions, with the intent to sell it later, of scalping.
No, that's reselling.
Yeah, that's very much reselling. That's my point. Some of these people just don't know what the hell they're talking about. Like they're just it's brazen ignorance, or I personally believe a lot of it's envy because they realize I should have done that and they didn't. But let's put that aside. Those people do not at all buy the whole like, oh, now someone else can get it, because they're like, yeah, they can at a jacked up price. And it's like, to me, it's like, yeah, but they had a 0% chance before this. But also, to my mind, it's like, okay, but the actual cost of that thing isn't $15.
No.
I had to pay $143 for the 4-day badge. I had to buy food while I was there. I had to buy gas to get there. You know, if I'm not staying with a friend, I had to afford lodging. Like,
had to spend your time standing in line.
The actual cost of that thing is significantly higher than $15. If anyone else wants one, their happy ass can pay all that and go get it themselves. But they didn't, now did they?
Yeah.
So, but the other point is, what Owen said, do you agree, like Owen says 10. In conception, do you agree that there is a number, it's just not 10?
No. Okay. I don't think there's a number.
Even if you somehow get all 1,000 of them. Like, let's ignore how you'd have to do that for a moment.
It depends on why you're getting it.
To resell them for a higher price.
Well, are you going to sell them all for $100, or as you start selling them off, are you going to keep jacking the price up?
Doesn't matter.
Because it's at the point where you start jacking the price up as you have fewer and fewer on the market that you become a scalper.
Yeah, I think if you buy them all, that's in scalper territory, because you now control the entire quantity.
I feel like as you control more and more of the supply, that constitutes a scalper.
That's the way I lean, for the record. But yeah, it's like I said, I keep seeing this, and like, you know, to me, for one thing, I don't care if someone calls it scalper. Like, it doesn't affect me in the slightest. So, you know, I'm very plain about my practices at Gen Con in our videos. I am very blunt in that I will be buying things to resell for money, for a profit. I did that this year. You know, I sold things for very high rates compared to what I paid for them. I'm still selling those things right now. You know, sold all the D&D things in like 2 days, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah, like, and
what D&D things?
Oh, there were some promos they had. We didn't get them until Sunday, and most of them were Chris's. So I had a couple that I wanted to try to recoup some of my money, but unfortunately, I wanted to try to help the folks that I've helped before. And this is the curveball in my story, when I'm like, oh yeah, by the way, there was also one year I got like 30 promos that I sold to people for cost, because I said I'd get them for them, for me just being a nice guy. And it's like, okay, so now how do you feel about me? You know? But yeah, no, it's things like this, or like whenever I wait for Lego sets to go on clearance to buy them to resell them. As far as I'm concerned, the moment it hits clearance, like, you had your chance. It was on the shelf probably for a year or more. You could have ordered it from the Lego website. You could have ordered it from Amazon. You could still order it from the Lego website or Amazon. There's only the only times Lego has like actual limited things. It's very rare, and you usually don't realize it till they're gone. Like there's one Monster Fighter set. It was like a $50 set. It's worth like $300 or $400 because it was, I think it was an exclusive to somewhere, and it sold out like that, and they never restocked it. And so you didn't realize it till it was gone. But normally it's just sets that are going to appreciate in value, you know, and those usually aren't the ones that hit clearance.
Nope.
They're popular for a reason. Like, I didn't expect the Dark Falcon to hit clearance. You know, it might in like a store somewhere just because they got to make space, but it's not going to be for lack of sales. You know, that's going to sell. That's one that, like, if I could find that at like 30% off on a sale, I might buy that to hold on to sell later. You know, but there are people that would label me a scalper for doing that. Like, oh, you're denying little Timmy. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Little Timmy can get it someplace else. I didn't like even if I were to walk into Walmart in Jasper, pick a set, buy everyone off the shelf, come back the next week if they restock, do it again. Come back the next week, do it again. They can still drive to Washington. They can still order it online through like a multitude of sources.
Yeah.
Including Walmart, and just pick it up at the same damn store. You know, I'm not denying little Timmy anything, but that's like the opinion some of these people have. So part of what brought this up, the guy makes figures like the G.I. Joe Classified scale.
Yeah.
And he was talking about, oh, so I made these convention exclusives, and people were buying them and flipping them for like 5 times as much. And I'm like, you know, guy, if you had the slightest bit of self-awareness, you'd see where you screwed up.
You're charging too little.
Well, no, you chose to make exclusives. You created a situation where there's artificial scarcity. And when that happens, things go up in value. When things go up in value, people that have an eye for those things will buy them and then charge more money for them.
Yeah.
So to my mind, none of this is scalping. And the people that these people should be pissed off at are the companies that keep doing this crap, that set up popular things, have stupidly limited exposure, and then they're surprised, oh, well, we didn't know people were going to buy them and resell them. Like, yeah, you did. Like, WizKids knows damn good and well what they're doing.
Oh, yeah.
You know? They know exactly what they're doing. They want the Stampede to their booth. It's just that Gen Con finally told them you can't do that anymore. That's the only reason they switched to the lottery system. So, no. And, like, with these other things, like Hasbro, they just recently had that the Cobra Commander figure. Now, I was never able to get a hold of one. Okay, went on sale like 5 times, but it went on sale at like 3 in the morning. You know, like, that's awesome. I'm asleep. I have a job.
Yep.
You know, like, I can't beat the bots at 3 in the morning.
Nope.
But the part that's stupid is 5 per customer. Stupidly limited, but then you make it so you can buy 5 of them. Why?
Why not one per customer?
Why not 1 or 2? You know, I could see 2, 1 to open, 1 to keep, whatever. You know, but beyond that, why? Chuckles was limited to 2. You know, I think Serpentor and Dr. Mindbender were limited to 2. Cobra Commander, why 5? Sells out like that. Of course it does. The really stupid one is the Sentinel 2-pack. That apparently was a convention exclusive. Like, people have been screaming, Hasbro, give us Sentinels so we can army build them.
Convention exclusive.
Convention exclusive, 5 per person. Yeah. So yeah, I don't blame these people that buy them. So I'm not mad at anyone that bought 5 of them, even though I didn't get one. I don't blame a single one of those people. I'm not going to pay their prices online for them, but I don't blame any of them. I blame Hasbro completely.
They know what they're doing.
They know exactly what they're doing. And so, yeah, no, I don't consider that scalping. Well, except for that whole buy all 1,000, that's scalping. And if I were to go and get, like, I don't know, 50 of each of them somehow, that'd be scalping. So at that point, I would control an appreciable percentage of them, specifically for reselling. I'd consider that scalping. But the other stuff, no. Like you can't scalp Lego. It's just too much of it, you know.
Yeah.
But I see people all the time talking about that, and it's just because they were like with the Captain Rex figure. I told you about that whole deal. Came in a $650 Venator set, and they were like, within the instruction booklet, it said it was exclusive. It never advertised it being exclusive anywhere. And then a month ago, they released a $13 set with the same figure. so, so there are some people that are like, what the hell's Lego doing? And it's like, oh, look at those scalpers whining about it now. It's like, no, they're not. They're being stupid, but they're not whining. And anyone that was buying $650 Lego sets for that purpose is not a scalper. You know, that's insane. Okay?
Yeah.
Plus, who's buying more than two of those? You know, if you've got that kind of money to sink into it, you've got enough money to hang on to them till they're worth more, which they will be.
Oh yeah.
Because it's a Star Wars set and it's big and it will eventually be out of stock. So, yeah. It was just so stupid. Like, oh, the Lego scalpers. And I'm like, there cannot be a Lego scalper. The only possible things you could do are like the promos that they give away if you order like right up front, which they've also broken precedent and re-released one of them. The Mimic box. They brought it back in stock if you buy the D&D set again.
And I happened to buy mine right in between the window of when the Mimic box was available.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. So, which I mean, I don't think they've ever brought one back into stock like that. So,
I mean, there was that one time that Lego had, in one of their minifigure series, a one, like, only, like, in that, like, where they only had 1,000 of this one minifigure. All the others were like normal chance, but there was this super rare one that there was
the
only
Mr. Cold.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just you can't. I mean, even if we're talking like back when they used to make like there were some sets they made that you had to like fly on a certain airline to get. Like even those, like you've got to fly on the damn airline to get it. Like you're not going to get that money back selling that set.
No, you're not.
You know, you're not going to get like if you fly to Billund and go on the tour and buy the sets there that are exclusive for that, unless you can buy like a suitcase full of them, which I'm pretty sure you can't. Like you're never going to make all that money back going to Denmark from the U.S. Now, if you're in like Germany or France or something, sure, because that's like a 10-minute drive, but because Europe's the size of like Indianapolis.
Yep.
I actually saw a thing the other day. It was like an overlay showing how Texas is the size of Europe, essentially.
It is.
And they were just like, yeah. They're like, then Australia's like, Texas, you think you're big. And then Canada's like, Australia, you think you're big. Then Russia's like, come on, guys, 13 time zones here. Like, takes 5 days to drive across me.
Straight?
Yeah, I think so, actually. Because it's like the one thing I saw one time, like, I'm in Europe. I drove 6 hours and went through 10 countries. And one guy's like, I'm in Canada. I drove for 6 hours and I'm still in Manitoba. I mean, if you go north to south, it takes you more than 6 hours to drive the length of our state.
I know.
And we're not even a super big state.
Nope.
But, yeah, so I was just curious what you guys thought about that, because I kept trying to do the video, and I just get to my ranting and raving, like, you people are just stupid. And, well, that's not conducive. Like, that'll get some clicks, but I don't want to go down that road. I don't want us to be the rage channel. That's why I'm even hesitant to keep talking about the Acolyte, because at this point, it's just like talking about other people's stupidity. But
the dead horse is gone.
The horse is decomposed. Like it's a pile of dust somewhere.
The last one's being chewed on by some dog on a farm.
Yeah, pretty much. We're long past the glue factory. All right, you guys got anything miscellaneous you want to throw out there?
Nope.
All right, we have probably rambled long enough. Then.
Probably.
I would say so.
All right, so anyone that's still with us, I should have put this up front. I have a question. I haven't brought it up to these guys and Jim yet, but I have been contemplating possibly doing a different setup for all this, where essentially each of us just brings a topic, and then we'd have our 4 topics.
Okay.
And then everyone have like a backup topic in case someone didn't have one or something, or one goes real short or something like where it's like, oh, is this thing bad? Like, yeah, like, oh, okay, well, let's move on, you know, so a topic and like a backup topic, and we'll set a time limit, if we get through the first four topics and it's like an hour, we'll go a little bit to cover some of the backup topics or something. But the first four, like whatever time it takes is what time it takes, up to something. We'll make it more reasonable than what we've been doing, like an hour and a half or something. What would you guys think of doing it that way?
Interesting.
It's certainly a thing we could try.
I would definitely have to be here more than just a reaction guy.
Well, I figure the other part is we'll have to tell each other what it's going to be so that we can look into it a little bit.
Yeah.
And so, like, say we record on Saturday or Sunday. So, like, by Wednesday, maybe, we need to be able to tell each other what our topics are going to be. And if there's any relevant videos or anything. And, like, a short video. Don't be like, I'm not going to be like, so, guys, we're going to talk about this 12-hour Phantom Menace video. I'm still only 3 hours into. Like, not like that. Like 10, 20 minutes tops on the video front. An article that might take 10 minutes to read at the most. That kind of, that's the homework. And if you want, you can look into it beyond that. What would you guys think about that?
That sounds fine.
Because I kind of feel like we definitely, like, for one, we could just make a podcast about movies if we wanted to. I think we have made that abundantly clear in the last two podcasts. So that's the other possible thing is should we break this up and alternate or something? But if we did it that way, because I feel like some weeks that we do this, it's like, well, nothing is happening in gaming other than something else is crashing and burning. Hardly anything happens in books. It's basically, did me or Owen read a book this time? And streaming is kind of all over the place. The miscellaneous could literally be anything at this point.
Yep.
So yeah.
I mean, miscellaneous is literally like, so what do you have for breakfast? Or do you want to hear about the 1986 Miami crime statistics?
Oh, I was waiting for you to say, do you want to hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? But
no, that's under streaming.
That's right. It's funny you should mention that. I keep seeing all these like old commercials and news stories are popping up in my like feed on like reels and stuff. And I don't know what's brought it on. Like, oh man, 90s commercials were awesome. And I've seen a few and I was like, they were awesome. But yeah, totally beside the point. I'm rambling again. So yeah, you guys think about that. And if any of you are still watching Charbroiled Beefcake, I know you usually watch till the end, buddy. Let me know what you think. Sarah, if you're actually paying attention at this point, let me know what you think. And run that by your dad. So
no, he can watch the video all the way through.
Yes, tell him he has to watch this all the way to the end. All right. So anyway, something to think about. So our next episode might be in that format. Because I think that'll keep us... It's not going to keep us on topic. We're still going to meander. I know that. But it'll keep the topics we're trying to get through to a far lesser number. And hopefully we can, like, maybe connect them. Of course, it's not going to happen if, like, Jim shows up and is like, I'm going to talk about the Atari 2600. And Owen's like, I'm going to talk about the Dolphins game. And I'm over here like, so the Acolyte shit's still raging. And Chad's over here.
I finally got my arena done.
My arena's all done. Like, not a lot of connective tissue there. Sorry, Owen, you got to be the sports guy in that equation, but you get the picture.
I don't watch sports at all.
That's fine.
I'm not the only one.
So then I'll be surprised if you want to talk about the Dolphin game. Wait a minute. Does he mean like a video game about dolphins? Echo?
I know.
But yeah. So something for you guys to think about. Just let me know. Let me know for any of you that are still watching, and thank you if you are.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I think that's going to wrap up this meeting of the Geek Cabal. Hopefully I don't find out in editing that our sound was terrible or something, because I really don't want to try to record all this again.
You're like, 2.5 foot
I'm
away from the
projecting
mic.
right to the microphone. I'm more concerned about the power cable right next to that. I've got the feeling that's why I've had buzzing noise before. And I'm hoping that's not the case. So, anyway, so hopefully this hasn't all been for naught.
It probably has.
No.
Look, you're getting my raging optimism.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you folks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Things we really should start mentioning like way earlier in these videos. Not at like the 2.5 hour mark or whatever mark we're at, but at like the 5 minute mark. But anyway, if you really want to help the channel, sharing and commenting is probably the best way.
Yep.
But otherwise, I think this is going to be us signing off here. So thank you folks for watching and for helping us get to where we are on the subscriber count. And in the meantime, see you folks later.
See ya.
See ya.